Good morning, hockey fans. Data here, and welcome to our third annual coverage of Free Agent Frenzy. 2024 NHL Free Agent Frenzy is pretty much already underway. Here we are, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Free agency will begin at 12 p.m. noon Eastern, but already a frenzy of signings, of transactional moves, of even trades happening over the last couple of days. Tons going down in the NHL that we'll start breaking down here, starting from around Timothy Liljegren, maybe something like 18 hours ago, all the way up until moves happening right now. Brandon Montour going to Seattle, Tara Vinen signing in Chicago, lots of different things going on. And I am honored to have my guest with me today, Hobbsy, our longtime AGM, longtime viewer, longtime contributor. Hobbsy, welcome, and thank you for co-hosting with me this morning.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm excited. It should be a wild day of signings.
Yeah, it's already been really something.
It's already been insane.
That's it. I'm going to try to get through as much as I can, as quickly as I can before the gates open up at 12. We already know things like Brett Pesce, let's say, to New Jersey, is just waiting for the 12 p.m. start time to happen. Other moves which have already been confirmed because of teams being able to extend players that are already in their organization. For example, Jake Gensel, whose rights were traded to Tampa Bay. That's something that's already happened. So we'll start going through it slowly, starting with the Jay Fresh cards. I'm going to scroll from Jay Fresh's account moving upwards, since that'll be a great way to go through it chronologically. From there, we'll also look at cap friendly, looking at team situations, talking about where these players fit and how the money situation might be moving forward, and what teams might still need to do with the cap space that they still have available. So first and foremost, there's a re-signing here, as the Leafs were able to re-sign Timothy Liljegren, great defenseman for them these past couple seasons. I've always liked him. He was supposed to be like a top. I mentioned this in the draft live stream. Formerly, thought of as a top 10 selection in his draft year. He dropped a little bit because of injury trouble, and he's been a good second pairing, two-way puck moving defenseman. He proved that he could keep up his performance in a bigger role, and now he'll get 2 years at $3 million to continue doing that. So not too much to say about that re-signing there. Not like anyone is really thinking that Liljegren was going to be going to free agency, but I like it for the Maple Leafs, who also signed Chris Tanev today, which we'll get to in a moment. Another big signing in terms of extensions was Utah, who just picked up Mikhail Sergachev. They get to extend Sean Durzi at a big AAV, 4x6 on him. So if you're going to have Sergachev on your left, Durzi on your right, on your first pair. Second pair, you got you got Marino, you got Moser. So Utah's suddenly looking good, Hobbsy.
They've been making moves. Like, their defense has been overhauled. They got Sergachev and Durzi as the top pair now, and then
that's it. I wonder how much the Coyotes' previous struggles, yes, of all kinds of reasons behind it, but I wonder how much was ownership not wanting to necessarily spend to the cap. And now you have Utah with ownership says, let's spend some money, and bang, they're making all kinds of moves. Not like they couldn't make those moves previously. The Coyotes always had those picks. But I digress. Great top pairing offensive defenseman who drove the bus on the Coyotes blue line last year as the biggest minute player. Huge factor in transition. 65th percentile projected wins above replacement over the last 3 years, according to weighted average data. And as you can see, his wins above replacement percentile was well above the 75th in last season. So good extension for Utah, adding to their blue line, Sean Durzi. A trade going down as Montreal Canadiens. I love Jonathan Kovacevic. As a Canadiens fan, I've seen him a lot. Underrated third pair guy. The Devils pick him up, and as Jay Fresh and the analytics say, as the eye test would show, he's been a valuable player around that 50th percentile this past year, 63rd over the last 3 years, or last 2 years, I guess you could say, of weighted average data. Solid, even strength offense and defense. The Devils get a good piece for the blue line in Jonathan Kovacevic. Juuso Valimaki, another Utah Hockey Club member to be re-signed. 2 years, $2 million. Love that for him. The analytics love Valimaki. I don't know if you noticed this, Hobbsy, but the analytics really love Juuso Valimaki if you're seeing this on your screen right here.
I did not know they loved him that much.
They seem to really
insane.
love him. Especially this past season, close to the 100th percentile. Again, smaller sample size, but it's not like he's playing 8 minutes a night or 10 minutes a night. He's playing second pair minutes. And as the description says here, puck-moving two-way defenseman who put up very strong results in the Coyotes last season in the top 4 role. So there you go. This is all about Utah so far today. Now we can move. Let's see. P.O. Joseph, not qualified by the Penguins. He'll go to free agency. P.O. Joseph came to the Penguins in the Galchenyuk trade, if I remember correctly, because he was drafted by the Coyotes. Alex Nylander not qualified either. Also, someone who was on the Penguins. He was traded in the Emil Bemstrom trade earlier this season. He's not qualified. He'll be a free agent. Next, of course, Showtime. Patty Kane extending with the Detroit Red Wings earlier. Was that earlier today?
It was late last night.
Late last night? Yeah. One doesn't show it here either, right? Late last night, Patty Kane, 1 year, $4 million, but it could go up to 2.8. Was that what it was? Sorry, 2. What am I saying? I'm looking at 2.8 on the screen, but I can go up to 6.5. I think it was
Up
with
to
signing
6.5.
bonuses. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So look at the jump that he took going to a better environment in Detroit, coming off of that hip resurfacing procedure. He's good to go. For the Detroit Red Wings, who are making a push for Steven Stamkos, who are looking to take that next step developmentally in terms of their team, from bottom of the league to fringe to hopefully being wildcard conversation this season. Patty Kane still has a lot of hockey left in him. And I think maybe this 1 year contract is for teams who are not, I don't know, maybe teams are still reticent on that. But I think after this contract, they'll have another solid year. I could see another 2 year deal coming out of it. Patty Kane's going to be playing for a long time. Well, a long time. I think he still has a good 4 or 5 seasons left in him.
It looks like Steven Stamkos is going to Nashville.
Get out. So let's go back. So I'll take a pause on that. So that's why I got Hobbsy here for the breaking news. We'll go back over to the other Twitter feed here. Shane Gostisbehere going. So just talking about Detroit, and then Ghost is going to free agency, it looks like.
Pierre LeBrun.
Pierre who? LeBrun?
Pierre LeBrun.
Perfect. Yeah, I think with all the Pierres in the RDS and the TVS circle. We'll see where it ends up officially, but word is Steven Stamkos' deal with the Predators should end up around 4 years, $8 million. That would be incredible. Wow. So it looks like Predators, the Nashville Predators, who had made somewhat of a splash last season going after Ryan O'Reilly, now would be going out and acquiring Steven Stamkos. So let me take a pause here from going through the recap, everybody. Let's go ahead and look at the Nashville Predators situation here. The Predators, at this moment before signing Stamkos, way like tons and tons of cap space. They can do whatever they want at $26.3 million. They acquired Jason Zucker to throw a bone to their players down the final stretch of this past year. They were doing good things. They made the playoffs. They made some noise against Vancouver. They still have 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 3 thirds on their team. And now, if you add Steven Stamkos to their core of Forsberg, O'Reilly, can Gustav Nyquist continue to do what he did last year? I'm not sure. Can Tommy Novak continue to do what he's been doing? I don't know. And defense, it's Roman Josi there, but who else is really, can you trust in that top 4? With Matthias Ekholm gone in the last couple of years, Tyson Barrie ended up walking. Can you trust Shen, Fabro, Lauzon? At least you have Saros extended long-term as your starting goaltender, but I don't know if I can call it a contending squad for Nashville just yet by adding Steven Stamkos. But we can break that all down in terms of how crazy it is that Tampa Bay lets him walk. I see both sides of the argument. You can say the Chicago argument where you can't just keep giving money to your veterans forever and hoping that things are going to work out. Then before you know it, you're stuck in a massive rebuild. But at the same time, Steven Stamkos was 34, 40-goal scorer. You could give him, if he's getting a 4x8 with the Predators, could he not get a 4x8 with the Lightning? I don't know, especially like why. It goes back to why you bring in Ryan McDonough eating up $6.75 million when you got to re-sign your captain. But I digress. Anything to add on that one, Hobbsy?
I saw the other day that they offered him like 8 years at $3 million.
Right.
And he didn't want that. He wanted he would have taken like 4 or 5 million, but
yeah, I find that ridiculous. So now he hits the open market. Front runners on Steven Stamkos and even Jonathan Marchessault, maybe even Brady Shea. So I'm talking about how there's holes to fill there are holes to fill in Nashville, and Steven Stamkos wouldn't be enough. Well, no problem. Go out and get Jonathan Marchessault. Go out and get Brady Shea, and it's a whole different conversation.
Absolutely.
And here's the card on Steven Stamkos. Of course, signed 4x8. It's sounding like he is a scoring forward. Still has an unreal shot. Still lethal on the power play. But the underlying numbers point to a decline in other areas of the game and maybe a reliance on Kucherov. I think that's a fair thing to say. I think we can still call Steven Stamkos a star while acknowledging that. It's been quite a steep drop-off defensively. Offense has taken a drop and maybe stagnated a little bit more. The finishing's always been pretty consistent. But it's really the hallmark of Stamkos' game is being in that in that finishing role on the power play and being able to be a leader, providing a lot of the intangibles as well. So even though even strength offense and defense has not been impressive over the last 3 years, the goals, the primary assists, the finishing, especially the finishing, that lethal ability, that's what gives Stamkos his value, even if he's not going to be there for everything else. That's why you have the Ryan O'Reillys of the world. Just keeping an eye on the chat as well. I got a few things going on. So I got TSN on the side. They're playing Plinko. I have I have my screen in front of me on Twitter. I have my phone for the chat on the side. I'm seeing a lot here in the live chat from everybody. I'm keeping track of what you're all saying. Just a lot to get through before we can actually take a lot of viewer thoughts, because there's a lot still that we haven't even done of players who are being signed. What are you guys doing playing Plinko? Multiple teams continue to show interest in Kasha, who spent last year playing in Czechia. Bertuzzi, the Blackhawks, yeah, we knew about that. The Preds also remain in on Chandler Stevenson. Could be big fireworks today in Smashville. And with $26 million to spend, why not? Nashville, go out and have a day. This is franchise mode. You have a ton of money. Go get all the free agents. Why not?
Here's some more Nashville news. LeBron just tweeted out again that if they can finalize things with Marchessault, it'll be 5 years at around 5.5.
Oh my goodness. We saw Toffoli, one of the Sharks as well. So 5 years, 5.5. There we go on Jonathan Marchessault. And Vinny Desharnais going to market, by the way. Where does Stamkos slot in, and who's a setup man now, says Ramses. I think would Nyquist be that setup man? Yossi's going to eat that up on the power play. But still. So Marchessault, who was on the doorstep of going to New Jersey, Jonathan Marchessault, they're burning already the streets down in St. Catherine. But Jonathan Marchessault not going to the Canadiens, not going to the Devils, going to the Nashville Predators, it looks like, at an AAV that is extremely digestible for a 40-plus goal scorer, who at what is he, 30? Remind me his age, maybe? Is he 30? Is he 33? 32, 33?
Marchessault? Yeah, he's around.
5 years is not 5 years is not crazy, but especially if you're gonna give him $5.5 million, no problem at all. So this is turning into a big Predator stream here.
He's 33.
That's it. Jack saying, how nice of you to follow Zyke. Yeah, I just followed the Habitant today, actually, for some more Canadians thoughts. Why didn't Vegas sign Stamkos, says Joshua. For Marchessault, it's a good question at 5.5, but things were tight in Vegas. Things were very tight in Vegas, as digestible as 5.5 is. So anyways, if you're going to give 8 to Stamkos and 5.5, we're at 13.5. That still leaves you with like $13 million to spend here in Nashville. That gives you 2 more top 6 forwards. Your top 6 now: Forsberg, O'Reilly, Stamkos, Marchessault, and then maybe Novak, Nyquist. Not the strongest second line, but good support players who showed good results last year. Your defense is Roman Josi and maybe Brady Shea. I think they were saying about $6 million. So if you have Josi and Shea on your first pair, Shen and Fabro on your second, or something of that combination, Lozon, a good physical defenseman, Strauss your starter. I do still think there's work to be done in Nashville, but it's night and day, not only from today, not only from Stamkos, but night and day to go adding 3 major pieces on your team, if that's going to be what Nashville ends up getting done. I'm shocked. Hats off to Nashville here. Drouin likely hitting the open market. Boston, St. Louis, and Rangers are interested. Jonathan Drouin. Also a 4-year deal on Tyler Toffoli. So while we take a quick pause on everything going on in the market now, we want to go back and see what's also been happening. Dexter, moment of silence for the Alex Holtz trade. Now, another interesting team, the Chicago Blackhawks. Hobby, let's talk about the Chicago Blackhawks now. The Blackhawks go from a team that has Connor Bedard, and they say last season, okay, we're going to bring in Taylor Hall. He's going to be his guy. Someone's got to play with him up there. There you go. Now moving into year 2 of Bedard's career, he's going to have not the craziest all-stars, but he goes from having a cast of Athanasiou and Foligno. Now he's going to have Tyler Bertuzzi, throw in Ilya Mikheyev, even Sam Lafferty there in depth. Hall's going to be back and fully healthy. Tara Vinen coming in. Welcome back to Chicago. Is that not like a pretty solid top 6? Bedard, Hall, Bertuzzi, Tara Vinen, Reichel, and then maybe one more fill in the blank? Is that not like a not playoffs just yet, but is that not like a solid foundation to build off?
It's a pretty solid foundation. Chicago they're building up to get better and actually give Bedard some players to play with.
I love it. It's oftentimes you see teams with these young stars build through the surrounding draft. The Penguins did a great job. I'm saying, for example, the Penguins didn't sign draft Crosby and go out and sign players. They had Malkin, they had Stahl, all these guys drafted, Letang drafted. But if you're not going to be able to draft everybody, well, the Blackhawks could. They have Korchinski, they have Nazar, they have more, and then they can sign more talent to kind of bridge the gap. Well, again, why not? If you have the money, and if you're a market that demands it, like an original six market in Chicago, go out and do it.
They could still use a defenseman or two.
Yeah, that's very true.
Just like everybody else.
That's it. So Tyler Bertuzzi, I digress here. Hardworking offensive winger who creates scoring opportunities in the net front by shooting and passing the puck. Finishing touch has always been streaky, peaking at a 36-goal pace in 21-22. 97th percentile of even strength offense. Put this guy on a line with Connor Bedard. Not just say, okay, you throw a guy like an AHL with Bedard and magically he scores 50 goals or 50 points. No, but I'm saying put a guy who has a solid finishing touch and has a good reputation or a good sample size of even strength offense and whatnot, and put him with Connor Bedard, then now there's actually some potential for explosiveness. It's not just throwing Josh Archibald up here. It's actually throwing a guy who's shown the ability to be at a 30-plus goal pace. And Dexter coming in with a $10 donation as well. Back in Canada now. Found the house we will be living in when we move this month to Latvia. Wow. Oh my goodness. Dexter, thank you for your generosity and great to hear all that news in your life. Appreciate you, my friend. I'll just get a quick pause to add 2 entries for you to our created player raffle. Dexter now has 8 entries as I add 2 more. Thank you, my friend. So that's Chicago. We'll get to Chicago's next move as they got Teravainen as well in a moment. If we continue to move chronologically, Sam Carrick going to New York, 3x1. You don't usually see long-term deals on these kinds of guys, but 3 years at $1 million. Okay, why not? Physical forechecking, depth forward.
This isn't special.
Why not? Sam Reinhart, of course, the big one. He gets his extension right before midnight, 8x8.65, I think it was. That's a very, again, I'm going to use this word a few times probably, digestible again. For a guy who I think many were projected to be in the like $10-11 million range after the year that he just had. When you look, okay, was it just his 57 goals? Was it just his 157 goal season? No, he's been well above that 75th percentile rank of wins above replacement for the last 3 years now. His finishing took a huge jump, but his offense and defense has been there. I think that's an underrated part of his game. You think of him being an almost 60-goal scorer, but he's been the 99th percentile of even strength defense over the last 3 years. That's crazy to me. And you add in well above average offense, goals, primary assists, high levels of competition, 99th percentile of finishing, and you go even a little bit more into it with the microstats, one of the most unique microstat cards I can think of, says Jay Fresh. Elite defense, elite power play, elite finishing, high-end passing metrics. What's better? What could Sam Reinhart do better? And to get him at under $9 million with an increasing salary cap on an 8-year contract, this is a steal by Florida, but also a commitment by Reinhart to say, I love what's going on here. I love probably the income tax as well. And let's go ahead and make this into a dynasty in Florida.
Yeah, Reinhart definitely could have got more money.
Yeah. Juice saying I got called crazy when I said Reinhart could get 11 million. No, I thought at least 10. I thought 10.5 even on the open market. But again, 10.5 somewhere else might end up being less than 8.65 in Florida when you think about the taxes. And when you think about they just won a Stanley Cup, things are going well. Why mess that up? So Sam Reinhart extending in Florida, continuing to move up chronologically. Here's one of the big ones now. Actually, I got to hold myself back. Before we get to Gensel and Tampa, I just want to quickly say, with Sam Reinhart resigning, the cap situation in Florida, I should mention, leaves them with $9.7 million. They also re-signed Kulikov, and they got to figure out extensions in after this next season, you would think, for Sam Reinhart and or Carter Verhaeghe and or Aaron Ekblad. So
I
Oliver
think
Ekman-Larsson will
Ekblad's
walk
getting
as well.
traded.
What's that, Hopsy?
I think Ekblad's getting traded.
Yeah, I heard about that. That would be crazy, but at the same time, they won their cup. They did what they had to do, and now Bill Zito's job is to make sure it stays as strong as possible moving forward. Not just say thanks for the cup, here's your money. And by getting Sam Reinhart at the AAV that they did, it shows that they are still very much, no pun intended, in the hunt. So that's Florida. Back to Jake Gensel and hold on, we got a bot over here. Ban user and delete comments. Bye-bye. So now moving on to Tampa Bay. Jake Gensel signed 7x9. Another guy who could he have gotten more in the open market? That's a question to be asked. By Tampa Bay is a high-end scoring winger who uses superb hockey IQ to create space and get pucks to high-danger areas by shooting or passing. Poor defensive metrics through his career, but manages the puck well. Finishing hasn't been special lately. So you can see it was a bit of a drop-off there in his finishing touch. But when you think about the offense and look at all these stats down here, goals, primary assists, penalties, draws, penalties, the level of competition that he plays against, while the level of teammates that he has on his line. Jake Gensel is an elite forward in the NHL. At 29 years of age, gets 7x9. That is great for him. He couldn't get that 8th year, but he is an incredibly talented forward in that 98th percentile of even strength offense. We saw it in Carolina. It wasn't just Pittsburgh and Sidney Crosby. We saw it in Carolina as well. The defense has never been special. It's improved, but it's never been special. The finishing's dropped off, but what has been most consistent has been that even strength offense. And when you look at the microstat card from 23-24, he is such a well-rounded offensive player, says Jay Fresh. He can create offense any way and is perfectly suited to playing next to an elite playmaker like Nikita Kucherov. So if you thought he was good with Sidney Crosby, put it with Nikita Kucherov. What do you think about that, Hobbsy?
Yeah, Gensel and Kucherov is gonna be scary. I hate that he's in the division because that sucks.
Yeah, we're in the same boat on that one. That's Canadians
Braden
and
Point
Senators.
there also. It's like, oh my god, Tampa, just go away. You had your moment. Let other teams win.
We're in the same boat on that one. Crazy. All the highest, like, what's below average? His zone exits, his hits, that's it. In 23-24, it was an incredible year
he's
for
not
him.
going to hit many people anyway.
Right, exactly. So
Not
it's not even anything to be concerned with. Now, where does that leave Tampa Bay? We know Steven Stamkos is not coming back, but where does that leave them in terms of a Hedman extension, etc.? That leaves them with $7.5 million of cap space, which is more than they probably thought they'd have. They have a lot of their forward core signed on, but I'm still not convinced on their team defensively. Hedman's going to get his extension, but then after that, McDonough again eating up that 6.75. Could the Lightning not have gotten Stamkos done? I don't know. Am I not seeing something behind the scenes? They have $7.5 million left. Could they have not gotten Stamkos done, or just have not taken on McDonough in the first place? Am I missing something here, Obsy?
I don't know. It's strange because like back when Tampa was a free agent, or not Tampa, Stamkos was a free agent before. There was a whole lot of smoke, and then he just stayed. But this time, it almost seemed like Tampa just didn't want him anymore.
Could that have been the case? I don't know. Sam Lafferty. Oh, my apologies. I said Sam Lafferty's Chicago. They got his rights, but they never signed him. Sam Lafferty signs with Buffalo.
Toffoli's deal is coming through as well.
Toffoli there. We're about to hit. We're 5-6 minutes away. 5-6 minutes away from noon Eastern. So Lafferty to Buffalo. Toffoli to San Jose. Jordan Martinook resigns in Carolina. $3.05 million per year. Really? That's a bit rich, don't you find?
Yeah, I feel like they could have got someone for about the same like production, a bit cheaper, but
Bob McKenzie with him on this hobby. David Perron going to free agency, and Ottawa will be amongst the teams with significant interest.
He's probably what they would need, but with the whole Zub thing from last year, I know some fans are going to be like, do we really want him? But
David Perron, always consistent franchise.
They need to do something, so.
That brings us to maybe around Kulikov now. We're getting up the list. So Jake Gensel, I'd want to break it down a little bit more, and we probably will once we get to 1 p.m. or something. But as we're kind of trying to fly through things at the beginning to recap all that's been and keep an eye on what's happening live, we'll continue moving on. Jake Gensel, great pickup by the Lightning. It's going to be great, but it comes at what cost? Jake Gensel is obviously preferable over Steven Stamkos long term, I think. If you're just talking hockey, you're not talking leadership, not talking pedigree, etc. But it does hurt to let him walk. Eric Robinson going to Carolina, 1 year, $1 million, steady depth offensive winger. There you go, Eric Robinson. He was in Columbus last season. Now he signs with Carolina. I think that's a good fit. I don't know a ton about Eric Robinson, but what I do know makes me think that's a good fit for him in Carolina. Connor Brown also extending at 1 year, $1 million with the Oilers. Shoot first, two-way depth winger who skates well. Yeah, he had some severe scoring issues. I think that's putting it lightly. In the playoffs, he was all right. He had a couple of those. Well, I say a couple. He had that breakaway shorthanded goal, right? Nothing else really comes to mind that much in terms of his goal scoring. But he's in the right role. He's fine. Put him where people thought he was going to be. Oh, Connor Brown used to play with McDavid first line. He's going to be scoring 30 goals. No, put him on the fourth line and he'll be okay. 1 year, $1 million. That's okay. $4 million to play top six. Not going to happen. So at least there you go. Mighty Joe saying Oilers looking to move Kane and CC. That's definitely a possibility. Golden Gamer saying, I think Gensel's contract was exactly what I expected him to get. A good player for Tampa to get if they knew Stamkos wouldn't stay. Yeah, fair point there as well. We're at over 60 people viewing. Thank you, everyone, for joining the live stream here. We're just a few minutes away from noon Eastern. Leave a like, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already for career simulations, franchise mode, breaking news analysis in the real world of hockey. Tons of things going on here on the channel. We'd love to have you join. Discord link in the description where we're always talking hockey. Almost 700 members talking hockey in franchise mode. And don't forget to check out the Ivan Demidov NHL 24 career simulation if you haven't yet. Take a second to check out the channel. I'm sure that you would enjoy what's happening here. We'd love to have you join the team. Dmitry Kulikov signs an extension here in Florida with the team that he was drafted by. Bounced around the NHL for a little while. I think this is the longest term contract he's gotten in his career. 4 by 1.2 on him. That's gonna bring him to 37. I like Kulikov a lot. I think he did a solid job for Florida in the postseason, especially. Veteran two-way defenseman who moves the puck pretty well and kills penalties. So his value took a huge dip and then bounced right back, a big letter V in his wins above replacement percentile rank. Pretty much a V as well in his offense and his defense, both dipping below the 25th percentile and then both rising above the 50th percentile. So I think he's an above average defenseman, and I think 1.2 million on a Stanley Cup contending team, that's a juicy AAV. Oh, Jacob Chychrun. Whoa. Jacob Chychrun has been traded to the Washington Capitals. Where are we seeing this? Hold on a second.
Capitals tweeted it out. It's official.
Capitals, where is this, Capitals? Why aren't I seeing this in my feed?
Nick Jensen and a 2026 third round pick.
Wow. Come on, Washington Capitals. Pull up here. Jacob Chychrun being traded from the Ottawa Senators to the Washington Capitals. Big move for Washington. They've had a big off season as well. Mangiapane, Thompson, there you go. Jacob Chychrun in exchange for Nick Jensen and a 2026 third. Oof, Hobbsy, what do you think about that return? A lot of people were saying hopefully a first. It's Nick Jensen and a third.
Well, they needed a right-hand shutdown defenseman, and there's Nick Jensen. I know
right-handed shutdown defenseman, yes.
They talked about Jensen. They talked about Jensen before as like a possible Sens target.
Okay.
Before he signed in Washington. And it looks light, but if the money opens up a Pinto signing, I don't really care.
True. Now, where does that leave the Caps in their salary cap space? This is going to get pretty tight for them. They're already over the salary cap, but that's with cap space with Nick Backstrom on LTIR. They had 3.7 to play with. Is that before? Okay, now Chychrun is here. Okay. So with Chychrun here, they still have 3.7 million with Nick Backstrom on LTIR. So they're not pressed against the cap just yet. That makes their top defensive pair Karlsson and Chychrun. That is incredible. Sandin and let's say TVR for Hervery with Bear. The Capitals has got a lot better this offseason with Chychrun and Mangiapane and Pierre Dubois and Logan Thompson in. Big moves. Jack has called you Sobsy. That's the first one. That's the first time I hear that one.
That's a new one. Yeah,
that's a new one. That's good.
Okay, I thought Jensen was making less than $4 million, but it's still all right. I mean,
yeah. What's the contract here on Nick Jensen? So big move there.
2 years left at 4.005.
That leaves the Senators with $11.85 million now. And Nick Jensen signed on for 2 more years, including this one at just over $4 million at 33 years of age. So now the question must be asked, what is Ottawa trying to do? What kind of team are they trying to be? From your point of view, Hobbsy, what is the goal of this season? Is it postseason or bust?
It's postseason or bust.
Yeah. It's a playoffs or bust year for the Senators here, yeah.
You have Tkachuk with 3 years left after this year and a modified no trade clause kicking in. I think you need him in the playoffs.
Anthony Stolar is also signing. There's the backup goalie the Leafs were looking for, or the 1B, I suppose, as Anthony Stolar signs a 2-year contract with the Maple Leafs to play with Joseph Wall. Wow, 18 new tweets, really. I just pressed refresh.
Oh, Elliot Friedman bomb.
Matt Roy, 7 by 5.5. Whoa. Whoa, to Washington as well.
Washington, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. 7 by 5.5 on Matt Roy, who's a great defenseman, underrated. That is huge. So there's the cap space we just spoke about for the Washington Capitals. There's that cap. Now that puts them over the salary cap. If we go back to Washington here for a second, that puts them over by like 1 point. Was it? What did we say? It was 5.5. So they're over by like 1.8. Is that what it is? My math isn't going quickly here through my brain. But that gives them a defensive core of Carlson, Chychrun, Roy, Sandin, and then a third pair of TVR and Verhervery. But then that still has, you're paying $2 million to a 7th D and Ethan Bear. Wow. I gotta get the card here on Matt Roy. You're gonna be shocked by this card, ladies and gentlemen, to Matt Roy. He does so much so well. And we're gonna get to Jay Fresh's card on Chychrun in a moment as well. But Matt Roy, we gotta see this one as he's off to the Washington Capitals. Blackhawks are going to be signing Laurent Brassois 2 years at 3.3. What? And then OEL to Toronto. Now we're getting crazy as free agency has opened. Oliver Ekman-Larsson to the Toronto Maple Leafs, 4 years at $3.5 million. OEL thrown away and thought to be dead. Goes to Florida, wins a Stanley Cup, and now gets not only a deal with term at 4 years, as you could barely find 1 year, but he's going to be getting $3.5 million per year. Oh my goodness, the floodgates are opening up here. Anthony Mantha to Calgary as well. 1 year at $3.5 million for Anthony Mantha. Wow, the Calgary Flames, who just moved out Mangiapane, now bring in Mantha.
I can't say I love that OEL contract.
Yeah, me neither. Marco D'Amico saying underwhelming return for Ottawa when they gave up the 12th overall pick for him and other assets.
It is an underwhelming return, but
Jets are bringing back Eric Comrie for like the 3rd time. Welcome back. And even the Caps signed Taylor Radish. He was part of the Hagel return for the Blackhawks, and he ends up going to free agency and signs with Washington. Craig Smith, 1 year, $1 million as well. All the little of Discord are flying in now. All the notifications are coming. Yeah, as we take a quick pause, I'm waiting on the Matt Roy card. But I want to go see Oliver Ekman-Larsson on the Maple Leafs. $3.5 million, that's Toronto, you need defense. But to give 6 years to Tanev, and yeah, you'll probably buy it out eventually, but to give 6 years on Tanev at 4.5, and you're going to have now 4 years on Ekman-Larsson at 3.5. Your defense is now Riley, Tanev, Liljegren, McCabe, OEL, Benoit. Not bad at all, but what's the average age of that defensive core? I don't know. They're stronger than they were today into 2023-24, but are they going to be stronger in 2026-27 or 2027-28? That's my problem with that.
Jack Capuano, assistant coach in Minnesota. Take that, Jack.
The only thing Danny closes is his phone at 11 a.m. Derek, pick up the phone, Danny.
Derek's a riot. I love
Derek,
this
great Twitter follow. If you want just hockey, but also Flyers, but definitely hockey, Derek at suitable alias, one of the good ones. So yeah, the Washington Capitals this offseason: Matt Waugh, Jake Chikrin, Logan Thompson, Pierre Dubois, Andrew Mangiapane. It's still and re-signed Connor McMichael, Taylor Radish, Teravainen signing 3 years at 5.4 in Chicago. Devils are close on Brandon Dillon as well, another defenseman to add to their system.
Oh my God, OEL got a 16-team no trade clause.
Who has the no trade clause?
OEL.
Tell me exactly what the what was it?
Ekman Larson, 16-team no trade clause.
Get out for the entire contract.
This is just Dreger like replying to his own
Gotcha.
tweet.
Wow. Alec Martinez of the Blackhawks seems to be happening as well. So the Blackhawks getting a lot stronger. Yeah, we saw Washington there. Matt, okay, this is what I've been waiting for. Check this out. Analytics darling. If you didn't respect Matt Waugh before, you better start respecting him. 96th percentile of projected wins above replacement over the last 3 years, according to weighted average data. 86th percentile of even strength offense. 98th of even strength defense. And he has just been getting better each year. Penalty kill machine. He's a defensive defenseman. He's become one of the most underrated play-driving blue liners in the league and had an excellent season in LA this year. Interestingly, despite all that, he does turn the puck over quite a bit in transition. So, hey, I think we can survive. But just to show you what the numbers think about Matt Waugh, and it's actually 6 years of 5.75. Is that what they're saying? Jack just put this in here. Mighty Joe disgusted with Trelving. Jim Nill is asleep, Landon. The Discord beeps are coming in. So what was it on Matt Waugh's 6 by 5.75? Yes. That's Matt Waugh's contract. 6 by 5.75.
Dreger just dropped a bombshell.
No, don't tell me. Boston lands both Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov. Oh my goodness, that's huge for the Bruins. That's huge. The hole left by Bergeron and Krejci, trying to be filled by Charlie Coyle and Pavel Zacha. Now you have Elias Lindholm as your top six, if not you think your first line centerman, and Nikita Zadorov on the blue line as well. Trenton gets $3.5 million in Minnesota. That's a wild contract. No pun intended. I find that's a lot though for Trenton at $3.5 million. Ian Cole's getting 3.1 in Utah. Okay, Utah has money to burn there. Jake Bean closing in on a deal with the Calgary Flames. Whoa, let's go over to Boston now and see their situation. That is a huge bomb. As the Bruins, we don't know what they had 21.6 to play with, so you'd think that eats up something like close to 15 million between the two of them. Maybe they still have money to spend, but now their top six becomes Pastrnak, Marchand, Coyle, Zacha, Lindholm, and fill in the blank. Maybe Morgan Geekie, who's been up there. And their defense is now McAvoy, Lindholm, Carlo, Zadorov, Peak, and Laurie type of thing. Wow. And speaking of defense, we've been talking about Pesce for a long time. Pesce in New Jersey. Dillon also likely to New Jersey as well. So that's really filling up the blue line for the Devils. They have Kovacevic on top of that. So Pesce, Siegenthaler, McDermott, Hughes, Nemec, DeSimone, Kovacevic, and Dillon coming in. So tons of defense there. You would think Pesce, Siegenthaler, McDermott, Hughes, Nemec, Dillon, Kovacevic still 7th D type of thing? I don't know. Hobbsy, let me breathe here for a second. What do you got to say?
David Perron's going to Ottawa.
Hey, there you go. David Perron off to the Ottawa Senators.
2-year deal at $4 million per Bruce Garriock. I don't know if it's $4 million per or not. I'd rather it not, but
Blackhawks are also signing Pat Maroon. What's going on in Chicago? What is going on in Chicago? Noah Gregor also going to the Senators.
2 years at 2.5 per for Stolarz to Toronto.
Just keeping an eye on the chat there as well. The beep beeps in the Discord are just going off.
I cannot keep up with anything.
No, I can't keep up either. The trade breakers in the Discord server are going off.
Oh, it's done in Nashville now. Okay, it is 4 million AAV for Perron. Okay.
2x4, gotcha. So Senators get David Perron at 2x4. I like that deal a lot for the Senators. I think Perron was a perfect. Even if you didn't want to pay him $4 million, I think $4 million is a fair number for him.
That's a fair number. Yeah, I would have rathered like 3.5 or so.
Oh, and now it's official on Brady Shea, 7x7. Whoa, to the Predators.
Big contract.
That is a large contract. Whoa, I like Brady Shea. I think he's underrated, but 7x7.
I don't know if him being the most expensive defenseman in free agency is.
Yeah, I did not have Brady Shea being the most expensive defenseman. Whoa, 7x7. The Predators, the Blackhawks, the Capitals, a lot of fringe teams have come to play. Whoa. Let me see if we can get Brady Shea's card up here. There's new tweets every second. David Perron, 2 years at $4 million. Slavin extended as well, 8x6.5. Can it be that Brady Shea gets $500,000 more than Jacob Slavin?
That's ridiculous.
Whoa. Is that just the cost of signing a free agent or what? Kaylee, welcome. You missed a lot. I got to say, you missed a lot. Kaylee saying, what did I miss? Every second, there's something new.
There's a lot.
I'm going to leave this page here just for like 30 seconds while I go grab something. I'll be right back. Hobbsy, you can feel free to read through what you want here.
Yeah, I can't keep up with anything going on at the moment. So, chat, how's it going?
All right. Let's see. Data walks away. 10 more contracts announced. Yeah, I made it back soon enough. Let's refresh here on Twitter. How many more contracts were signed? 16 new tweets already. 10 minutes into free agency, 27 signings, 75 contract years, $293 million spent. Samantha off to Calgary at 1 year at 3.5. Yeah, 7x7 on Brady Shea. Oh my. Martinez getting 1 year at $4 million. Stamkos 4x8. We had said Lindholm's contract is 7x7.75. 7.75 for 7 years on Lindholm. I think that's less than you may have thought a year ago after he'd come off of his, was it 2 years ago when he scored 40, it was like 42 goals? Whatever it was, like when people were thinking about, okay, this guy's on a cheap $4 million contract, his next one's going to be big. I think they thought it was going to be in the 8-9 plus range as opposed to 7.75. But the Bruins are very happy with that contract at 7.75 to be their first line center.
That was the fastest Hopsy Q&A ever. It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, 7.75.
Arvidsson to Edmonton.
Who's Edmonton?
Victor Arvidsson.
Oh, wow. Oh, my. You beat me there by half a second. Yeah, Victor Arvidsson, when healthy, low-key, one of the better snipers in the NHL. One of the better shooters, I should say. One of the better shooters in the NHL when healthy. Off to Edmonton. That's a great piece for the Oilers to pick up right there. I can't even look at like details on these things. I just announcing it is hard enough to keep up with. Perron, 2x4, veteran forechecking winger, 5x5 offense, 5-on-5 offense, fell off a bit of a cliff last season. But he's one of the slowest players in NHL, still active in his own end and chips in some physicality. I don't know. The analytics probably rate Perron worse than he is. I think he's a good player, but he is 36. He will be 38 at the end of that contract. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't love paying him $4 million, but
Noah, hey Data, just got here. Anything I miss? Well, about 30 signings, I'd say, Noah. Brassois getting paid as well, $3.3 million. That's a lot for Brassois. If we go back to Cap Friendly and refresh what we can see here.
Next to it, Jack in the chat. Anything you missed, just go to the Trade Breakers channel and it's all there.
Yeah.
Plus,
nice. Here's the entire screen of everything going on. of everything that's been confirmed. There's been a lot. Well, I mean, of like by the league, I suppose, confirmed by the league, but there's a lot that's been confirmed by the insiders. I can't even, like I said, it's hard to break anything down. We're just refreshing the Twitter right now. As Victor Arvidsson, we're going to wait to hear the term on him signing with the Edmonton Oilers. Leaf Stolars. Flames extending Sharon Govich on a 5-year deal, paying him $5.75 million per year. Here's the Brady Shea card I was waiting on. He's getting 7x7 at 30 years of age. As a defense-first top 4 defenseman who manages the puck well and has a great shot, don't look too close at the goals. That's going to be a bit of a fluky stat. But 82nd percentile of even strength defense over the last 3 years of weighted average data. Finishing, don't look at the finishing and the goals too much. What you want to look at is even strength defense. You want to look at the levels of competition he plays against. He's putting up good numbers, well above that, the higher third of the NHL. And playing against the 83rd percentile of competition in the league as well. It's not like he's playing against bums, but still 7x7.
Jason Zucker to Buffalo.
Hey, look at that. Jason Zucker to the Buffalo Sabres.
1 year, $5 million.
Dang, look at that. He gotten similar numbers with Arizona, money-wise. Yeah, 1 year, $5 million on him. Josh Dunn, 2 years in Buffalo. Can't even tell you anything about him. Noah Gregor. Actually, you know what? I think we had Gregor. No, I'm thinking about Dylan Gambrell in our NHL 21 Senators series.
Oh, that was definitely Gambrell.
Yeah, 100%.
Derek Forbort to Vancouver. Sharing Govich extension 5x5.75.
Devin Cooley to the Calgary Flames. Yeah, forward to the Canucks. Doggy, the resident Hurricanes fan. The biggest Hurricanes fan on the channel. I loved Shea in Carolina, but 7x7 is crazy.
7x7 is wild.
Yeah, I think that's the craziest contract of the day. Noah, is the OEL contract good in your opinion? I have a hard time calling it good. I like OEL a lot, and it's 2x4 on Victor Arvidsson. But for 4 years, there's a reason he got bought out in Vancouver, and he's good, and he can still do a lot of good things. I don't know if I like giving him 4 years at 3.5 when money is as tight as it is in Toronto.
Nashville added 3 players today who combined for 95 goals last year.
Well, there you go. So Elias Lindholm, looking at his numbers here, so dropped off a lot, actually a ton. It's like there's a straight line down. Lindholm is a complimentary two-way center who's good at finding soft areas around the net and getting open. Coming off of a really difficult season, Bruins are making a serious bet here. At his best, that's, if he can get back to how he was a couple of years ago, that's the steal of free agency. But if he's going to be continuing on the pace that he's been on, where he's playing, and he's been playing more of that two-way game, which is fine. But the Bruins need a guy who can be their top-line centerman and not have to rely on an aging Brad Marchand as much.
Yeah, Arvidsson, 2 years, $4 million, same as Perron.
Interesting, eh? 36-year-old David Perron gets the same as Victor Arvidsson.
Yeah, I don't know. But Pagnotta says they're also poking around on Jeff Skinner.
The Senators?
No, the Oilers.
Oh, the Oilers, gotcha.
If Steve wanted to poke around on Jeff Skinner, I wouldn't hate that.
And Zadorov's contract in Boston is 6x5. Woof. Defense getting paid.
Money.
Flames were close on Arvidsson, but he's actually going north. Sources say Oilers have agreed with him 2x4. Yes. Oilers also poking around Jeff Skinner. Yes. Back home 2x4. Trenton to Minnesota Wild.
To New Jersey, 3 years, $4 million.
So we got that here. You beat me. Where are you refreshing here, Hobbsy? You beat me.
I'm just on Twitter, just constantly just refreshing everything.
There he is, Dylan. 3x4. One of the more affordable defensemen, I suppose, of free agency, with Zadorov making actually new version of this tweet. What was it? There's a mistake here. 6x5. That's the news. Okay, what was his old contract? What was his old tweet? Maybe you just made a typo. But yeah, 6x5 on Zadorov, 7x7 on Shea, 3x4.5 we said on Dylan, was it?
3x4.
3x4. Stamkos. Look, so much is happening that I can't take a second to wrap my head around Stamkos in a Nashville Predators jersey. What is going on?
So weird.
What is going on? Nashville Predators. We got to run a simulation. I wouldn't be able to now. We got to wait till the dust settles, but I really want to see how this Predator team does.
Just reading the chat here. The Oilers have signed Victor Evertson.
Yeah. 2 years of $4 million for him. Brendan Dillon at 3x4. Eric Engel says they'll end up being one of the best value deals of the day. Boy. So while we're over 80 at the moment and we're scrolling through everything, just a quick reminder, leave a like if you're enjoying and subscribe if you haven't already for breaking news analysis in the real world of hockey, as well as our ongoing franchise mode series, some that are live, some that are recorded, our career simulations. We just did the Ivan Demidov Canadiens career simulation. If you enjoy hockey, you enjoy NHL, you enjoy franchise mode, EA, NHL, all that, this is the channel for you. Take a second to check it out. We'd love to have you join the team as we're closing on 8,000 subscribers and over 650 members in the Discord server, where discussions are happening as we speak. The Discord notifications keep going off in my head here.
Let me know if I'm being a good co-host too.
Yeah, of course. Let Hobbsy know if he's doing well in his co-hosting debut. So Brandon Montour, we didn't get to break down Montour too much, but he goes for 7x7. Let's look at while there's a lag, and by lag I mean just 60 seconds to breathe. While we have a lag, let's go to Seattle. 7x7 on Brandon Montour, Stanley Cup champion. He gets paid. He was making 3.5. He was, I don't know if he was getting buried in Buffalo or just not utilized correctly in Buffalo, but he unlocked his game in Florida, and now he can go and give some support to Vince Dunn. Look at this. I think the happiest person in free agency today might be Vince Dunn, who gets to play with Brandon Montour on his right side now in Seattle. That's one of the better top pairs in the NHL for the Kraken now, is Dunn and Montour can go pair one. You got Alexiak and Larson, a great shutdown pair on number two. Then you have some sort of mix of, Dumoulin and Borgren on the third pair. I think there's a possibility of the Kraken returning to the postseason in a weaker Pacific Division as well. Martinez, 1x4 veteran defensive defenseman who blocks shots and kills penalties. Always a go-to in fantasy hockey. We need someone who gets you blocked shots. 37, missed a lot of the year due to injury. Offense took a steep downturn, but his defense has been consistent enough. Provides a lot of value. Stamkos going to Nashville is what I wake up to. Yeah, H-Jaws. There's a lot to wake up to here, buddy. Go back to Cap Friendly's homepage for a second. 37 signings already. Shoosh. Is Vegas missing the playoffs? I don't think so. Teravainen as well, signing in Chicago. So some of the big winners today. You got Chicago, you got Nashville, Washington, even New Jersey. Do we have a second to go back through some of the signings that we took a pause on?
I refreshed Twitter and the same tweet was at the top of my feed, so perhaps.
All right, so you know what, Hobbs, you'll let us know if any breaking news happened. Let's keep breaking down the day that has been. My goodness. So from Kulikov, we move over to Brett Pesce, who signs in New Jersey. Not enough money for him on the blue line in Carolina, but he's been part of an incredible core for the Hurricanes. And Hobbs, just interrupt me if anything happens, please. Brett Pesce signs 6x5.5. See, Pesce at 5.5, and then Shea at 7.7. One more year and $1.5 million per season more. I don't know. Anyways, Brett Pesce is a top 4D who shuts down passing lanes close to the net, helps his team advance the puck up the ice, and defends the rush as aggressively as anyone in the league. Great PK and keeps the puck out of the slot despite a lack of physicality. So consistently in that higher wins above replacement percentile rank. Defense is improving over the last couple of years. 80th percentile of even strength offense, 48th of even strength defense. But what really is interesting is that he's so good on the penalty kill and against such high levels of competition. When you look at his microstat card right here, Montour's making a lot of money. 0 Dallas signings. Landon is furious. Who have the Oilers signed? The Oilers have signed Arvidsson. They've re-signed Connor Brown. Anyone else for the Oilers? I think that's it.
I think that's it right now.
Yeah. Brett Pesce, yes.
Mark's in the chat. I just want to mention that the Habs, Burrows is no longer there. So
that's true, Mark. Alex Burrows is gone. You're free. Dance that down St. Catherine. You're free, Mark. Brett Pesce's microstat card. Pesce, one of those odd ducks who plays a totally defensive game, but for whatever reason consistently has better offensive impact than defensive ones. That's interesting. Nonetheless, his skill set speaks for itself.
Sean Monahan to Columbus.
Oh, Sean Monahan to Columbus. Winnipeg and Montreal were poking in on him to see if it would be interesting for him to come back. Matt Murray staying in Montreal. Staying in Toronto. Matt Murray going to provide goalie depth behind Wall and Stolars. So Matt Murray is going to be the third goalie, it looks like, for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Interesting. Sean Monahan. 5 years at 5.5. His contract at $6 million is what got him traded away for a first-round pick. And Columbus is going to sign him for 5.5. Yes, he has a reunion with Johnny Gaudreau. But that's a lot of money for a guy who's been good, who's been worth it. But you got to admit the injury concerns. 5.5 for 5 years on Sean Monahan, signing almost the same deal that got him traded away for scraps. And Columbus is making a big move there and bringing in hopefully someone who can jumpstart Johnny Gaudreau. 5 years at 5.5. Sheesh. What do you think about that one, Hobbsy?
That's a lot, but they're gonna pay it. Columbus is, I don't know. They have like a bunch of kids, and then they go out and sign Monahan. They're just
like Monahan's not as old as we think he is. I think he's like
not. No, he's not old, but I don't know. They have Fantilli. They have. I don't know. It's not a terrible signing, but it could age relatively poorly depending on how Monahan performs.
Well, yes. Okay. Let's get back to where we were. William Carrier to the Hurricanes. Is that what I'm seeing here?
6 years at $2 million.
What?
6 years at, that's what Sarah Valley says. But
what are these contracts?
So.
William Carrier off to no more room in Nashville, I guess, for all the money that's being spent there. If I could get a refresh, please. I want to see Sarah Valley. Come on. 6x2.
It says William Carrier, which is the forward, but
unless it is
a defenseman. So
yeah, I do think it's Alex Carrier. Is William Carrier? I don't know if he's even a free agent.
I saw last night that Alex Carrier was going to stay in Nashville, but
I don't. Maybe we'll wait and see on that. So Sean Monahan, middle six offensive center who can play the bumper on the power play, put the puck in the net, and distribute at 5-on-5. You see a huge jump in 23-24. He's 29. Yeah. Where's Sarah Valley?
Someone on the Daily Faceoff live feed or whatever said Shane Pinto's camp did not request a trade. So
I see. Sharks confirmed out on Chandler Stevenson.
Okay, it's fixed now.
It's William Carrier. It's William Carrier, not Alexander Carrier. So 6 years at $2 million makes a bit more sense for William Carrier than Alexandre Carrier.
6 years is a lot, though.
But yeah, 6 years is a lot. 6 years, and so the Hurricanes sign Carrier 6x2, Robinson 1x1, and Martinook like 3x3. So there's the depth in Carolina. If we go to the Hurricanes.
Washington has a projected cap hit of $100 million now.
Eesh.
With a negative $12.8 million in cap space.
Yeah, you got to put Backstrom on LTIR still.
Yeah, that'll solve most of the problems.
So the cap situation now? The Hurricanes, they still have 19 million cap space. Really?
Whoa, Jake DeBrusk to Vancouver.
Whoa, Jake DeBrusk to Vancouver. Okay, a lot of people are waiting for that domino to fall. He's leaving
7
Boston.
Years, $5.5 million.
Wow, there's a lot of term being thrown around today. There's a lot of term being thrown around today.
Broken by the Canucks Twitter account.
And even the Kings, LA Kings signed Joel Edmondson 4x3.8. $3.8 million for 4 years on Joel Edmondson going to the LA Kings, who just lost Matt Roy. And Jake DeBrusk signs a 7-year contract at $5.5 million, leaving Boston, the final piece of those 3 first-round picks they had. Because Zaboril's also gone, right? So there you have it. Wow. People in the chat not happy about that one. Hey, did I have the Habs signed anybody? No. Is Monahan a top-line center? No. And the Sharks are making moves to an extent, yes. Wow, so Jake DeBrusk How does that fit into Vancouver now? So Vancouver, yeah, they definitely have the cap space. They had 14 million, so they still have close to 10 to play with. There's a winger for Elias Pettersson to have, or just someone in the top six. So your top six now: Pettersson, Miller, Besser, Garland, DeBrusque, and fill in the blank.
Kiefer
Right?
Sherwood also to Vancouver.
Kiefer Sherwood. There you go.
Years 1.5.
Okay.
I love how the Canucks Twitter account is announcing their moves before the insiders get there.
Good point there too. Yeah, it was Vancouver that announced it. Then you have Dakota Joshua, Teddy Bluger, P.S. Patrick Kane, Suter. All those guys are in there. I like it for Vancouver. They need some support scoring there.
Sportsnet stats: teams have handed out $415 million worth of new contracts and extensions through the first half an hour.
I will never not stop to look at this photo of Marc Bergevin as he's reunited with Joel Edmondson's reunited with Marc Bergevin in Los Angeles. William Carrier, look, the numbers are there in Carrier, 6x2, crazy, bit of a crazy contract, but the numbers are there. One of the league's top analytical darlings, says Jay Fresh here, top analytical darling fourth liners for years. Got a cup ring, strong play driving numbers at both ends of the ice, good scoring rates and scoring chance creation. Look at these metrics. Does this surprise you, Hobbsy? It surprises me.
It does surprise me a little bit. Like, I knew he was like the fourth liner on Vegas, but I didn't think he was that like productive.
Plus, he goes in. I think he fits the system well in Carolina.
He feels like a Rod Brindamore type guy.
Yeah, exactly. Any news on Chandler Stevenson? No, not yet. Leafs King, welcome to the stream.
Jesse Granger just tweeted out that there's 3 original Golden Misfits from the Vegas Golden Knights. Do you know who they are?
3 original Golden Misfits. Kevin Stenlund going to Utah. Who are the final 3 original Golden Misfits? Okay, let me think about this one. I'm closing my eyes and I'm thinking about this. The 3 original Golden Misfits. Because Stevenson wouldn't count anymore, right?
No, he does not count.
Okay, you got Shea Theodore.
Shea Theodore's 1.
Got Shea Theodore. William Karlsson.
William Karlsson's 2.
I have no idea on the 3rd.
Braden McNabb.
McNabb. Yeah. There you go. 2 out of 3. I'll take it.
2 out of 3 is not bad.
2 years on Connaughton in Utah as well. Utah continues to spend. Joel Edmondson here, physical defensive depth defenseman. He was great in Montreal. I enjoyed having him.
Yeah, I don't really like that deal for LA though.
Mistake, yeah, not Edmonton. It's LA. They has the right logo, but the wrong text. Joel Edmondson off to LA. Kind of be a Matt Roy replacement a little bit, but yeah. 4 years at 3.8. I find that's a bit much.
Stamkos
joining live on TSN. So I'm going to turn it to TSN here.
Well, it's been probably as crazy as you can think in terms of just a roller coaster of emotions. Clearly, so much amazing history in Tampa for my family and I, and ultimately trying to work something out there, and fell short, not by my trying, that's for sure. But once we kind of got past that, we were really open to the opportunity of going somewhere else. And every time we were looking for things that would certainly interest us in the new team, Nashville kept popping up. And so thankful that they had mutual interest and we were able to get something done. And listen, as crazy as it's been the last couple of days and the lack of sleep and the nerves and just that uneasy feeling, once we made that call to Barry Trotz and the Nashville Predators that we were coming, that feeling went away, and it's just been pure excitement.
You said, until that door closed, when exactly in your mind did the door close? I know, Tampa was working and you guys were working with them, your agents, up until a day or two ago, or when was that moment where you said, okay, it's not going to happen, I have to move on?
Yeah, I mean, it probably depends who you ask. If you ask Tampa, maybe the door was closed a little sooner than if you ask me, when you're going through a situation like that, and literally, I've never been through a situation like that, you always think that something's going to work out. But, this morning when I woke up, we knew we were going to make a decision to be somewhere else. And that was exciting for my wife and I and our kids and our family. And like I said, just to have a team show as much interest as Nashville did with how excited they were about the possibility of me coming, from their ownership to their GM to their coach, to some of the players on the team that I'm familiar with. It just made us feel really, really special and really good, and made that decision that much easier.
We know there were a number of teams that were interested in Steven Stamkos when it was clear you weren't going back to Tampa, a large number. So you mentioned the interest that Nashville showed in you. What else factors in the decision? Obviously, the money's great. The city, when you're weighing and looking at these possibilities, in the end, why Nashville?
Well, I think like you said, you have to look at a multitude of factors, especially when you're in the position that I am. Obviously I have 3 kids, I have a family, I have other priorities other than myself that I need to think of. But first and foremost, it's going to an organization that is committed to winning. I think you can already tell for how aggressive they've been today, how much that means to them. Obviously, the city is a fantastic city, very familiar with a lot of players that absolutely love playing there. The money is the money. It's not the end all be all, but it's a part of it. But I just think the fit for myself as an individual, as a player, and then the fit for my family, it checked all those boxes. You have a list of things, of priorities that you want when you get into a situation like free agency, and being on a playoff contender that has a chance to win a Stanley Cup, going to an organization that is willing to commit to adding pieces and adding players and constantly getting better. Obviously,
Danton Heinen,
being in a great place to raise a family.
2 years at 2.25
like
to Vancouver, another signing by the Canucks.
Boxes, and each time we kind of went back around, they were always coming out on top, and it made the decision that much easier, like I said, because they had that mutual interest as well.
We sat here on this panel a few minutes ago, and everyone said, I can't believe it came to this, that Steven Stamkos, we thought he'd play his whole career there. I know you wanted to play your whole career in Tampa. You talked about the great memories you'll have, but will there be any tinge of bitterness that the organization didn't try harder to make it happen?
Good question.
Well, listen, it's such an emotional time right now. I can't lie and say that, really since the beginning of last year when I didn't get an extension, that, you're a human, you have emotions and you want things to go your way, but that's just your perspective. Everyone else has a different perspective. And, certainly Julian in Tampa has a different vision. And at the end of the day, it's a business. As harsh as it can be sometimes, you have to live with those decisions. And like I said, it's not for a lack of effort on my side of trying to make things work out in Tampa, but it's not fair to Nashville for me to sit here and say, I really wanted to be in Tampa. Everyone knows I did. It didn't work out. And I'm just as thrilled to be joining the Nashville Predators, like I just mentioned, for a multitude of reasons. And like I just said, you can see by how aggressive they've been today already that their commitment to winning is second to none.
Well, we're happy for you and best of luck there. They've been really busy. You've got a bunch of new teammates in Marchessault and Brady Shea. So we wish you the best of luck in Nashville, and we'll see you in Aurora this summer.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
That is Steven Stamkos, who leaves the Lightning, where he captained.
So now Darren Dreger saying it's not official on Joel Edmondson, actually.
Joel Edmondson, yeah, I just saw that. LA fans were like, quick, talk to other people.
So we just looked quickly at Jake. I brought up the numbers while Stamkos was talking. Jake DeBrusk, pretty crazy numbers, actually. Maybe I just haven't watched enough Jake DeBrusk, but I'm pretty blown away by these numbers.
That's a lot of blue.
That's a lot of blue. And to see him getting 5.5, That's a solid number for the Vancouver Canucks to settle on. Lots of goal scoring upside, even if it's not the most consistent.
I seen a tweet saying it reminds someone of the Zach Hyman contract.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah, very good. Boy, so again, a little bit of a lull perhaps for like half a second. Subscribe if you haven't already for all of our ongoing breaking news and analysis in the real world of hockey. So Sherwood, Heinen, and DeBrusk all going to Vancouver. A little bit of a Vancouver flurry here. If you like Vancouver, we're currently doing a franchise mode with the Canucks. We're 10 years into a Vancouver Canucks franchise mode on NHL 24. Check that out here in the channel and subscribe to get those upload notifications. Hit the bell as well. Sherwood signed 2 years at 1.5. Another depth guy who's getting term. These depth guys, Hobbsy, are getting term. Martin 3 years. Carrier 6 years. Sherwood 2 years. I feel like there were some others that I'm already forgetting. But guys who are getting term, not just money, but more than 1 year.
There was a great question in the chat by Green Cadola. I think I'm saying that right.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather Shea at 7 or OEL at 3.5? And I don't think I'd want either.
I don't think so. I think I'd take OEL though, because of the term as well. If you're telling me if they were both 5-year contracts.
If they were both 5 years, I'm taking Shea.
Yeah, me too. But if I have to do 7x7 or 4x3.5, I do 4x3.5 on OEL.
Montreal, Alex Barré-Boulet.
Barré-Boulet to Montreal, babe! Bienvenue! Hold on, where's this? This was written in the stars. This we all knew was going to be happening. And hearing Drouin's going back to Colorado, says Arthur Staple. You're exactly right, Rock and Pop. Nashville doing exactly that. Montre-moi Barré-Boulet. Ah ouais, montre-moi. Come on, refresh. Give me Barré-Boulet.
3-year no move for DeBrusk, then the 15-team modified for the rest.
Makes sense. These people got a comment notification from a guy. Why isn't Demidov high elite? You disrespected him. But people don't understand that if you make a guy high elite right away, he's going to grow, and then he wins. He would have been in the NHL for year one. I had to make him not be in the NHL for year one. There we go. No, that's Jake Bean. Jake Bean to Calgary, 2 years at 1.75. Pretty strong contract after not getting a qualifying offer. Yeah, that's true. For a guy who wasn't qualified, 2 years at 1.75 is pretty good money for Jake Bean, who goes to Calgary. They have a bit of an offensive thing going in Calgary. You got Jake Bean, you got Poirier, offensive defenseman prospect there too. Where did you say Barré-Boulet was? Who would
Renault.
Oh, of course, Renault. I don't think I'm following Renault. Lavoie. I don't follow most of these French guys just because I just can't take the bias. As a Canadian fan, I can't.
Detroit.
Who, sorry?
Cam Talbot.
Ah, ok. Donc, Alexandre Barré-Boulet chez le Canadien Montréal. Bienvenue, Alex. There we go. And Cam Talbot to the Red Wings, we said. Yeah, 2-year deal for him to be in Detroit with Husso, I suppose. There you go. One-way contract for Barré-Boulet.
David Perron signing is official.
There you go. And it's 2.5 on Talbot. 2 years at 2.5. Jiggle, so many free agent signings in Ottawa that Ottawa is able to news dump the Chychrun trade. Yeah. St. Louis, Vegas, and Seattle all interested.
The Chychrun trade. That's pretty much accurate. The Sens have also added depth help for Belleville. They expect announcements later today. Well, that doesn't help. We want them now.
Jake Bean's card here.
Let's say
franchise mode legend.
Or Barré-Boulet.
What do you say on Barré-Boulet?
One-way contract.
One-way, gotcha. Jake Bean, franchise mode legend. I remember 2BC putting him as it was X-Tech putting him as was it? Somebody put him as a forward, one of their franchise modes. I think it was X-Tech, and he did amazing. Jake Bean, offensive defenseman, was traded for, a second-round pick from Carolina? Yeah. Heponiemi. The pick that became Heponiemi. So the Seth Jones trade, which was 2 firsts, a second, in terms of picks, it was 2 firsts and a second, I think. That became Cole Sillinger, David Jiricek, and the second was then flipped to Carolina, who became Heponiemi, or Hyposalmi. That's what it was. Yeah, Hyposalmi. And then now he ends up walking, and Calgary gets him 2 years at 1.75.
Bob McKenzie
Vancouver-
is confirming Drouin back to Colorado.
Makes sense. Green Cadola, is Vancouver's blue line in trouble now with losing Zadorov and Ian Cole? Yeah, a little bit, because Vancouver made 3 solid signings for their forwards, but they could use a little something on the blue line. They have Jet Wu signed yesterday, so maybe he'll get a chance in the NHL. But Hughes Hronik, that's a lock. Susie Myers, I suppose. Then Juleson Friedman, I don't know. I wouldn't mind one more name in Vancouver for the blue line. $58 signings. Sheesh. Yeah, Cam Talbot, 2 years at 2.5. Patty Maroon, done chasing cups, now just wants to get a little bit of cash for the end of his career.
He just wanted to play with the dirt.
That's it. Have a little fun with Nick Foligno. Play with Connor Bedard. Let's listen in maybe a little bit on Brandon Montour right now.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I can't imagine the last few days and now having to say goodbye to your teammates. But man, you climb your entire career, you're 30 years old, you finally win a Stanley Cup, and boom, a few days later, you're off to a new city. But we congratulate you. You're in that contract, and wish you the best of luck in Seattle.
All right, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks for taking some time out. It's been a bit of a nuts week for the Florida Panthers and Brandon.
Asking to see Green Cadola wants to see the Blackhawks core. No problem. The forwards. Let's check it out. Jenzy McKenzie, what major signings have been made so far? A ton.
This isn't good for the Minnesota fans in the chat, but Anthony DeMarco is saying nothing major going on in Minnesota, but it does sound like they're working on some depth moves.
They got Trennan earlier on. But yeah, we got Stamkos, Marchessault, Gensel. A lot of signings already. So in Chicago, if you look at their forwards, let's look at the depth chart maybe. Right, zoom in a bit more and go to the depth chart. So your top 6 is now Hall, Bedard, Bertuzzi, Teravainen, Dickinson, Mikheyev, with Reichel, Foligno, and Kurashev on the third. I think a couple of those guys could even be second liners, and especially Kurashev. And your fourth is now Athanasiou, Donato, and Maroon, when you had Athanasiou playing like top 6 minutes last year. So that's a lot more sustainable. Defense needs some help still. Martinez coming in is great, but I don't know about Vlasic and Louis Crevier, Marachek, and Brassois. They have Smith in here as well. Yeah, things are moving along for Chicago. Utah, big contract for Ian Cole. What's up in Utah's cap situation now, by the way?
Frank Corrado says on TSN he really likes what Ottawa's done, and that's all I need to hear.
Yeah, Frankie Corrado, these guys. I don't know how they get jobs.
They used to play in the league. That's how.
That's it. So Utah still has $15 million or cap space with LTI. They still have $23 million to play with. Are you serious? Man.
Go big game hunting again.
Yeah, why not? Who are the biggest names left now? That might be a question to ask.
Probably Chandler Stevenson.
Tarasenko's out there.
Jeff Skinner's out there.
Jeff Skinner, yeah. Brendan Dillon officially signs 3x4 with New Jersey. Skinner, Schmidt, Atkinson, Henrique, Verana, Tarasenko. Those are the biggest ones left. If we're sorting by players and the points, if we sort by points scored last year for the free agents who are available, come on. There you go. So Pavelski, yeah, who's probably retiring though. Duchesne is likely back in Dallas, they said. Drouin is likely back in Colorado. That leaves Ghost, Tarasenko, Stevenson, Henrique, Skinner, Sprong, Duclair, Fogle, JVR, Nosen, Johnson, Gustafsson, Roslovic, Wenberg, Atkinson, Schultz, Brody, Tatar, Pacioretty, Zadina. etc., etc., etc. Jeremy, welcome to the stream, buddy. Edmondson seems official now. Gotcha. Noah, data with Montreal going to Seattle, my second favorite team. What can I expect? I'm not really familiar with his style outside of the playoffs. And is the contract an overpay? I don't think it's an overpay. And if you want to know a bit more about Brandon Montrose, let's look at his J Fresh card for his style. But yes, he's an offensive defenseman, but he does more than just the offense. As you can see right here, offensive defenseman who loves to carry the puck in transition with speed and create scoring chances for himself, scores a lot and plays on the power play. So the defensive value has grown quite a bit from like the 20th, 15th, 20th percentile to close to the 50th of even strength defense over 23, 24. So that's great to see. And playing on that top pair with Vince Dunn is going to be great for him as well. So all good things for Seattle. I don't understand the Skinner buyout. It's just Skinner was good, but at too high of a cap hit. So Buffalo said, hey, we'd rather save money in the short term and move on from him now. Drouin back 1 year, $2.5 million. That's a nice payday for Jonathan Drouin, who was making league minimum last year. 1 year at 2.5 for Drouin to stay with the Avalanche. DeBrusk's expected value was 5.8. He signs for 5.5. There you go. That value will drop over time, sure. Makes
1
sense.
year at 2.5 for Drouin.
Yeah. So the only thing Montreal has done is signing a 27-year-old Quebecois for Laval, and that's it. Yep, pretty much. What are the contracts for Bertuzzi and Teravainen? They're both signing in Chicago.
Bertuzzi was 4 by 5.5, I think. And Teravainen's 3 at like 5.4.
I was about to say that. Yeah, I think 3 by 5.4. Yeah, 5.4 by 3 and 4 by 5.5. Look at that. Hobbsy, the insider.
Edmonton is official now.
Makes sense. Yeah, I doubt the Canadiens are going to be doing anything else, really, so don't be too upset with Montreal. I don't think they're going to be doing anything else, really, today.
Matt Duchene is guaranteed.
Official. 1 year, flat $3 million.
1 year at 3.
I mean, the Canadiens were they said they would have been looking at Patty Kane if he had dropped to free agency. I could see the Canadiens going after one of those like a scoring winger, top 6, top 9 scoring winger for like a 1 year type of thing. I could definitely see that.
Warren Fogel's at LA.
Warren Fogle also to LA. Whoa! So Warren Fogle and Joel Edmondson both signing with the Los Angeles Kings. Where does that put the LA Kings now, money wise? Doggy wants to come rant on the Minnesota Wild. Should we let him?
Well, if you let him, then it opens up other people, and then everyone's just going to rant.
All right, I'm going to put a cap on it. I'm going to put we'll let Doggy, and we might let Slim, but I'll put a cap on that. Let me get you the link here, Doggy. I'll get an additional co-host here, which will allow me to breathe a little bit more. Oops, sent you the wrong link. Sorry. Give me a second here. Yeah, no numbers on Fogle yet. There's Doggy going to come join us. Have the Pens done anything? No, just actually they signed someone in depth. The Penguins signed someone in depth. Hold on top of the Kevin Hayes trade. The Penguins signed somebody. I saw Pittsburgh. Hold on.
I don't remember.
It was someone we didn't even mention yet. Here. Mac Hollowell. Yeah, Mac Hollowell. 1 year, 2-way, $775K. That's what the Penguins have done today.
Legend.
Mac Hollowell, legend. All right, speaking of legends, we now welcome to the stage Mr. Doggy. Doggy, what do you got to say about the Minnesota Wild so far today?
It was embarrassing. Embarrassed to be a Wild fan. We signed the worst contract. Turning into a bum. Or to like do aim over him. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So let's take a little bit of a closer look here at Trenton. Trennan, J Fresh. Let's see this card here.
Joe says I can hear Dubas breathing from here, so he's doing something.
Yakov Trenin, 4 years at $3.5 million, a defensive winger and penalty killer who forechecks and hits. He has some sneaky skill with the puck, although nobody scored on any of his passes last year. 51st percentile of even strength offense and 92nd of even strength defense. So that's something to be excited about, right, Doggy?
Oh yeah, let's go.
I think the bigger issue with the Wild is that they give that money, but they have $15 million to ghosts.
Yeah.
So what is Trennan really going to do over the next 4 years? I'm not sure if the Wild
be a
can make the
bum,
playoff.
waste money for us.
And he'll be fine. He'll be a fine player, but I'm not sure what role he serves at this time.
In the AHL, bought out, traded for bag of pucks. I don't know.
It's the Minnesota way. Sign deals, then buy them out, and then just keep playing ghosts.
Get their cash, and then they
Thomas
get bought
Nosek
out.
and Tyson Jost. Tyson Jost, $775K to Carolina, and Thomas Nosek, $775K to Florida. There you go. All right, thank you, Doggy.
Bye.
There you go. Getting off his chest. So yeah, Tyson Jost, $775K to Carolina, and Thomas Nosek, $775K to Florida. Do you have a second to breathe here to go back to recap a bit more? I think we probably could. Brendan Duheim also signing in Washington. Again, Capitals doing more. Sheesh. All right, so if we go back to where we were, where did we leave off here? We had Brett Pesce. Sheesh, we're at Brett Pesce. We're at 10:21 a.m. All right, let's try to fly through this a little bit more. Matt Duchene is now official. 1 year at $3 million for him. Veteran offensive top six forward. Took a bit of a drop, but then found his way back in Dallas this year, I think. Not known for the defense, absolutely not. But he wasn't at his best in the playoffs. But I think to bring him back on the same contract, to let him see if he can run it back, makes a lot of sense for Dallas. Chris Tanev, 6-year contract. That's just to manipulate with money a little bit. There's no way he's going to be playing at that AAV and with those minutes when he's 39 or 40 years old. So 6 by 4.5 on him to the Maple Leafs. High-end defense first, veteran defenseman who's you got to go all in. If you're Toronto, you already were going all in, but especially with Mitch Marner expiring, Chris Tanev's not getting any younger. OEL's not getting any younger. You've committed a lot of money to them. The Maple Leafs, of all their all-in years, does this have to be their most all-in year, Hobbsy?
Yes, I think so.
Anything going on with Marner? Not that we know of yet. Amadio to Ottawa?
Yeah, depth pieces keep getting term. Mike Amadio.
Another 3. Yeah, again, these depth guys keep getting term. I've never seen this much term to these depth players like this.
I swear he was a Senator before.
Amadio, I don't think so. You would know better than I would, though.
I thought he was there like briefly, like before he actually played well in Vegas.
Well, Amadio off to Ottawa, 3-year deal. Marshall now joining on TSN, 3-year deal on Morin Fogel as well. Okay. So Chris Tanev, 100th percentile of even strength defense. This guy is incredible defensively, but he's 34. He does a lot of things that could get him injured by all the shots that he blocks and all that, right? So I'm a little afraid, if I'm a Leafs fan, of the sustainability aside from the 6-year contract. But for right here, right now, we're going all in. Let's do it. And yeah, like Jay Fresh says, sacrifices the body to block shots and plays through the pain. So
Yes,
Chris Tanev off
the Amadio was with Ottawa for 5 games in the COVID season.
There you go. Mighty Joe Rashad saying DeBrusk almost went to Edmonton with mutual interest, but Edmonton couldn't make enough room. Huh, no kidding. Let's see. What else do we got? Keep on scrolling. Yeah, I have to refresh. That was the last time I had refreshed. And that was going to be a lot of scrolling to do again. We were at Chris Tanev. Here, while I pull this up, let's get thoughts from Jonathan Marchessault. So
Everything you did and accomplished there wasn't a better offer?
Yeah, obviously it's disappointing, but like I turned the page probably like
an hour ago, you know. So maybe an hour ago I turned the page and I was like, well, this is it. You know, we move on and a new chapter, new challenge for me and my family, and we're excited. So, but yes, at the end of the day, I always look back at some of the best time in my life over there, and I mean, I'm pretty satisfied and happy of what we accomplished as an organization, and I did think I was a big part of it, and but they probably thought otherwise for the future. So that's what's disappointing, that story.
Well, if they make a move,
There's the defense that Vancouver needs, by the way.
Vegas coming into the league and getting to the final in their first year, and then winning the Stanley Cup. The Jonathan Marchessault character will play a significant role in it. So congratulations on your time there and your new deal in Nashville.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Okay, that's Jonathan Marchessault.
There you go. So there's the defense we're talking about for Vancouver that they needed, as they get Derek Forbort. We'll break him down in a moment. Let's go back to where we were in the grand scroll of things.
I think we missed it on. I don't know if he said it when we were listening to the audio, but he said, "I don't think that Vegas tried their best to keep him."
Yeah, I think I just heard maybe the tail end of some disappointment in his voice. But yeah, so Marchessault doesn't seem to be too content with how Vegas's efforts there. Yeah.
Yeah, as Joe was saying in the chat, Warren Fogle was 3 years in the mid $3 million range.
Very good. Okay, let's keep on scrolling up. We're at 2 hours ago now. Eric Johnson, 1 year, $1 million with Philadelphia, veteran depth defenseman. There you go. Fine enough. Depth defenseman. I'm surprised he didn't get 4 by 1.8 or something, but he gets 1 by 1. Connor McMichael extends in Washington. He would have been an RFA, so he's going to be, I believe, 2 years at 2.1 by Washington. Speedy bottom six player who plays in all situations. Former first-round pick. Had to play in an increased role this past season. So there you go. McMichael continuing to grow, and now he has a little bit of support with the other pieces that have been brought in to Washington. Yakov Trenin, we just looked at him with Doggy. 4 years at 3.5 to Minnesota, defensive winger. One of the better defensive wingers, honestly. If you look at his trajectory over the last 3 years, the even strength defense continues to improve. Now he's one of the better defensive wingers in the NHL, but doesn't make a lot of sense for Minnesota on that term in AAV. I don't know. Do I think Pinto to the Islanders? I don't know.
Don't love paying Amadio $2.6 million.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I'd rather pay Trenin 3.5 than Amadio at 2.6. We'll get to him soon. Montour, we already went through previously as well, but just to say again, offensive defenseman who loves to carry the puck. His defense has also improved greatly in this past season, now close to the league average, or close to the 50th percentile, I should say, in that even strength defense. Teravainen signed by Chicago. The logo is wrong here. We'll have Chicago on the top left. He's back now with the Blackhawks. Traded from Chicago to Carolina in what was the Brian Bickle cap dump. And now here he is back in Chicago. 3 by 5.4, pass first, defensive middle six winger who kills penalties. He's not big, speedy, or physical, but he contributes to the forecheck and helps his line maintain possession of the puck. 79th percentile projected wins above replacement. Huge jump, big letter V in the wins above. I can never say this right. Wins above replacement percentile rank. Close to the top of the league this past season. His defense had a huge, and his finishing, both huge jumps. 100th percentile penalty killing. He had a really good year, I got to say. And he gets to cash in a little bit. Still probably less than maybe you would have thought, but goes to Chicago, back where it all started. Okay, there's Teravainen. Stamkos, we looked at him already, of course, signed by the Nashville Predators. Huge, the biggest deal of the day. 4 by 8 on the 34-year-old, two-time Stanley Cup champion, captain of the Lightning, lifer, first overall pick in 2008. Scoring forward, still an unreal shot, lethal on the power play, but the underlying numbers point to a decline in other areas of the game and maybe on a reliance on Kucherov. So we'll see how he does away from all that in a different type of role in Nashville. But you get Marchessault with you now, and that's a big plus. That is a big, big plus to have Marchessault and not have to rely as much on maybe an aging Gustav Nyquist. So there's Stamkos moving up. Marchessault, of course, also with the Predators, 5 by 5.5. That's a great AAV on Marchessault. He signs as a player who's in the 91st percentile of wins above replacement over the last 3 years, consistently there as well. Not any big highs and big lows, consistently up there. The defense has been dropping, and the offense is slowly dropping a little bit while the finishing goes up, but that's fine by me. 86th percentile of even strength offense, 93rd percentile of goals per 60, primary assists per 60. Even strength defense is good enough to be more than passable, I would say. Great power play, great finishing, high levels of competition, and not with high levels of teammates, not even the highest level of teammates, but against high levels of competition. 5 years at 5.5, going to be able to play with Steven Stamkos. I think that's going to be, I'm very excited if I'm a Predators fan to see how that goes. Veteran top 6 scoring winger, career goal scoring season in 23-24, 42 goal season. Other parts of the game seem to be in decline a little bit, including skating speed, which is near the bottom of the league. Hearing Duclair to the Islanders, says Phantom Twix. You hearing that, Hobbsy?
I haven't seen that yet.
Neither have I. We'll keep an eye on it. Back to the recaps. Jordan, go ahead.
To Nashville.
Who?
Scott Wedgwood.
Hey, there you go. Nashville gets another piece. So there's Jussi Saros' backup. Or is Kevin Lankinen still in Nashville? No.
I think he's a free agent.
Yeah. So now, instead of Askarov coming up, you have Scott Wedgwood. So if I'm Askarov, I'm saying, excuse me? But Scott Wedgwood going to the Nashville Predators.
If I'm Askarov, I'm saying get me out of here.
Yeah, probably. Mighty Joe's going outside for some weather. Keep listening, but not news hunting anymore. Perfect. We'll keep doing that for you, Mighty Joe. Appreciate you continuing to listen. Be able to keep you entertained while you cut the grass or whatever else. Let me get. I lost my. There you go. I got it back. Okay, back to it. So Jordan Martinook, 3x3.1 with the Carolina Hurricanes. Another depth guy coming in, 32. So he's going to be signed until he's 35. That's quite a contract. One of the many depth contracts with term today. His wins above replacement percentile rank continues to grow well into the 50 pluses this past season. So he's a defensive forechecking winger, say it with me, a defensive forechecking winger who creates chances but struggles to finish them. So for a guy playing those third line minutes, those bottom 6 minutes, to be where he is in even strength offense and defense is pretty solid. Martinook's an underrated player in the NHL. So I don't mind the term. 3x3.1s feels a bit heavy, but I think they'll survive. What do you think about this one, Hobbsy? Of all the depth signings, what do you think about this one?
The Martinook one?
Yeah. Am I being too harsh to say I feel like it's a bit of an overpayment, or am I just not respecting his name?
I don't think so. I think I haven't seen the card, but I think I might like Amadio at 2.6 more than Martinook at 3.1.
Interesting. Okay, that's fair.
But if Martinook was more at around 2.6, then that's probably the better deal.
Yeah, agreed. Tyler Toffoli back to California, now signing with, is he with the third California team that he's been on now? Or no, he hasn't been on the Ducks. I'm thinking of our NHL 20 franchise mode series. Tyler Toffoli signs with San Jose 4x6. I like that he gets some term now. He's been a guy who's been, for no good reason, really, aside from just teams wanting to acquire him and the contract made him acquirable. But he gets 4x6 with the Sharks. I would hope there's some sort of no trade clause involved there so we can settle down a little bit. Shoot first veteran winger, not the most consistent player, but gets plenty of scoring chances and puts them in the net. Slow skater, but big rush player. 91st percentile of wins above replacement over the last 3 years of weighted average data. Defense.
Friedman says Sean Walker to Carolina.
Sean Walker to Carolina. The Hurricanes doing a lot today. Sean Walker to the Hurricanes. An inverted V, got a mountain here for Tyler Toffoli's defense, but the offense and the finishing has both climbed and then stayed high enough, just like his wins above replacement percentile rank. High in the even strength offense, the goals, the power play, the teammates. Hey, Data, what will the Predators lineup be next year? I would think a top 6 of Stamkos, Forsberg, Marchessault, Nyquist, Novak, and O'Reilly. That's what I would think for next year. Travis Boyd to Minnesota too. And did Macklin Sabrini have a hand in reeling into Foley? Good question. I could see that. Makes sense to me. So there's Toffoli at 32 years of age. He gets a 4-year contract at $6 million. Sam Lafferty, depth to the Sabres, 2x2, speedy,
Take
physical,
a look at
forecheck.
TSN for a second.
What's on TSN?
The first hour, 64 signings. It's $745.8 million.
Oh my goodness. It's half the number of signings as the last few years, but like double the amount of money. Last year, 117 signings for $403 million. This year, 64 signings for $745.8 million.
That's insane.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Toffoli will do well with the young core like he did in Montreal. Good point there from Rock and Pop. Let's get back to it here. We're saying Sam Lafferty. Yeah, not much to say aside from what Jay Fresh did. Physical forechecking, defensive fourth line forward. Did well in a bit of the elevated ice time opportunities that he got in Vancouver, even a little bit, but provides value in that sense. 2 years of $2 million for him in Buffalo. Jake Chychrun acquired by the Capitals for a third and Nick Jansen, two-way defenseman who's strong on the puck, has a big shot and an active defensive stick. Fit was never there in Ottawa, but he has plenty of tools. So as of 22-23, we were looking at him like this. Oh, the defense dropped off. The offense came up. It should even out in both ways. And I think that's what we did see in Ottawa. The defense came up a little bit more and the offense came down a little bit more while his value continued to increase. He does so much so well, but just the fit didn't seem to be there in Ottawa. What can you say about the fit for Chychrun with the Senators, Hobbsy, and why things didn't work out? And if I might even add a second question onto that, is that similar to the Alex DeBrincat trade and how things didn't work out?
Similar. It's similar in the fact that they both didn't work out, but DeBrincat didn't want to be there in the first place.
Okay.
Chychrun, he was kind of more of what they.
Sorry to interrupt. Matt Grzelcyk to the Penguins, 1 year at 2.75. 1 year, 2.75. Matt Grzelcyk to the Penguins. Sorry, go ahead and continue though.
Chychrun, he's more of what they had. Like they have Shabbat and Sanderson as like left shooting puck movers. Sanderson more defensive. But I don't know, he didn't. The whole talk about it was he can play the right side, and then he couldn't really play the right side, and he was absolutely terrible defensively.
Now, if he was right-handed, would he still be in Ottawa?
Or
did the issues transcend?
Probably not, because
did the issues transcend?
Terrible defensively.
Okay, I see.
I also.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
You continue.
I was going to say, so the issues transcended the fact that you had Shabbat, Sanderson, and Chychrun all on the left side.
Yeah, I also saw that there was reports that he butted heads in the locker room with like Tkachuk and them, and that's gonna be they're building a team around Tkachuk, so
yeah, makes sense. All right, well, thank you for the added insight as a Senators fan. There's the fact on Chychrun. I think he'll do very well in Washington, where he's going to get a bit of a fresher start. He's going to be playing top pair with John Carlson. I think it's going to be an exciting time for Chychrun on the Capitals. And I guess at this point, the Senators just got what they could. Nick Jensen, by the way, the piece coming back, the right-handed defenseman who slots in on the right, which was very much needed for the Senators. He is a veteran top four defensive defenseman who can move the puck and draws over twice as many penalties as he takes. That's pretty crazy. I didn't realize this. He draws over twice as many penalties as he takes, 99th percentile of penalties.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's really something. Casey DeSmith to the Dallas Stars. Landon exciting. There you go. Something for Dallas. Casey DeSmith going to Dallas. So Nick Jensen, solid even strength defense. His wins above replacement percentile rank has taken quite a dip, but his so is everything. But can you attribute that to his age, to it being a down year in Washington? I don't know. Him being 34 does scare me a little bit when I see dips like that. Not just his age, but the age and the dips, that scares me a little bit.
That's definitely true. It's a little scary, but
and I think there's reason to be concerned to a certain extent. But also, he's going to get a chance to have a lot of ice time in Ottawa on that right side, and hopefully, he can do what Chychrun really wasn't doing, to an extent, and you got a 3rd-round pick out of it as well for an expiring contract you might have walked for nothing.
Because the entire time leading up to this, my Twitter feed has been like Ottawa fans saying that they need more veterans and stuff, and then they sign Perron and trade for Jensen. And everyone's like, they're old.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Stefan Noesen, 3 and more depth, 3 years at 2.75 to New Jersey. Stefan Noesen. While Matt Grzelcyk is getting a 1-year deal. Fire your agent, Matt Grzelcyk. It should be 5 by 2, but he's getting 1 year at 2.75. I'm gonna do so we'll get back in there. Actually, was there something? Okay, so let's get back to the recap. Matt Roy, we saw his numbers before, but they're so good that I just got to look at them again. What a defenseman Matt Roy is, as he's added to the right side in Washington, making the top 4. Your top 4 in Washington is now Jacob Chychrun, John Carlson, Rasmus Sandin, and Matt Roy. That is, no joke, one of the best top 4s in the NHL.
I really wanted Matt Roy in Ottawa.
At this point, Noah says, of free agency, who should the Habs target? If anyone, it would maybe be a scoring veteran. Like if we go over here and look at who's still available, just to get a quick pause to answer Noah's question. $770 million. My goodness. Casey Smith signing 3 by 1. So Skinner, Atkinson, Henrique, Verana. Verana in Montreal would be something. That would be a classic type of let's try and fix some story. Tarasenko. Hey, there's Slim. Slim's here now. Slim has arrived. All right, I'm going to get Slim in here in a moment. Just let me finish up a bit of the recap that I was going through here. Slim's going to be joining us in a moment. Perfect.
Oh, once he who shall not be named has signed in the KHL.
Yeah, I saw that. It's initials DD, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Oliver Ekman-Larsson signs with Toronto, 4 by 3.5, veteran 3rd-pair defenseman. Again, who knows who's bought out? Who knows what kind of cap jiu-jitsu is done? But just to say, in theory, Tanev until 40 and OEL until 37 for a combined what? What's Tanev getting? 5.5?
4.5.
4.5. So combined $8 million. Not horrible, but again, it's Toronto where money is so tight. Another team might not have as much of an issue with that. But for the Maple Leafs, that's tough. So OEL, massive drop. Well, a big drop, then a good bounce back. Stanley Cup champion. $6.5 million for a bottom pair D. Saying a tweet there. OEL's numbers. 47% percentile projected wins by replacement. Let's get Slim in here now. Slim, what do you have to say about free agency so far, my friend?
Well, you're all dorks. But everything's been insane right now. Honestly, I'm kind of just like, you can hear me, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you okay. Yeah, we hear you okay.
All right. I just want to make sure. I've kind of just been, everything's been insane. I mean, Toronto is signing these like older guys to like long term to like kind of scary term deals. I'm like, I don't know if I like that. Especially because none of these guys are like they're not like actual bus drivers.
So Phoenix Copley and Trevor Lewis both resigning in Los Angeles, just to note. Continue.
Also, it's not Matt Waugh, it's Matt Roy. I know that it's like
yeah, just like it's Matthew Savoy too, right?
No, it's literally Matt Roy.
And Patrick Roy?
No, it's Matt Roy because he's American. He's not.
Yeah, but I'm not. So if I meet him one day and he asks me to say his name properly, I'll say it. But this is a point of contention I often have with people in the comments. I'm going to read it the way that I know how to read it because I'm of where I live.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, nothing against you, Slim. It's just I get comments on it, and I mean no offense to the people like I know Matthew Savoy says Matthew Savoy, but I will never say
Yeah.
Savoy. It's Savoy.
You
Anyways.
dork! You should say it the right way. The right way.
If one of these players personally tells me that they're offended by the way that I'm saying their name, then I have no problem fixing it. But until then, I'll say it the way that I know.
Yeah, like, so I guess right now,
Puckpedia's dropping a bomb saying Chandler Stevenson to Seattle.
Whoa, Chandler Stevenson to Seattle, a bomb from Puckpedia.
my
Expecting
God.
Chandler Stevenson to crack it on a 7-year deal.
Holy crap. My God. This free agency is a lot more insane than last year, honestly. Last year,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was kind
absolutely.
of like, it's kind of just like,
Absolutely.
you know, this year, like, you're seeing a lot of great players just go to teams that are like, holy crap, these are like division rivals. Like OEL to Toronto, Chandler Stevenson to Seattle. You
So they
know?
had $16 million to play with. That'll still leave them with like.
Also, I wanna talk about that Jensen trade. I like
let's
it
hear it.
for Washington, but like Jensen is one of the best shutdown defensemen in the
That's
league.
what I like to hear. Slim, keep it coming.
Keep it
I
coming.
know he didn't really like have a great year last year, but like I think he was injured towards the end of the season. And like, you know, I know that people want to make fun of Washington for making it in, but you know what? All those people are just crybaby Detroit fans who just are
Zach
biggest
Aston to Vegas.
Eisman. But you know, it's like I don't like Ottawa. Like it's scary because like yeah, could Jensen bounce back? I mean, it really depends on Ottawa, like their schemes. But Ottawa, like thing is that Ottawa, I don't know how like their defensive schemes are because like I feel like in the past like
They didn't
years,
have
like,
any.
yeah, that's the thing. I feel like Ottawa doesn't really have a great defensive scheme, whereas with
Are you looking
Washington,
at
like
TSN right
they
now?
had
Oh, here we go.
Zach
You're looking at-
Aston Reese. I like that pickup for Vegas. I like that great two-way defensive forward, defensive forward who can, you know, provide great defense. I don't know why he wasn't even playing in the NHL. He was still really good to be in the NHL, but of course Eiserman decided to not play him in the NHL because he's a overrated GM. But
Okay, so we're going to wait for details on Chandler Stevenson. That's a big move for the Seattle Kraken, who bring in Brandon Montour and Stevenson, two of the, I guess you would say, top 10, if not even better than that, free agents in this class. Giving you a top 5 of now Burakovsky, Schwartz, Bjorkstrand, Gourde, McCann, and Stevenson.
yeah, I don't think Florida was going to pay Montour or give
whatever
that
that would
kind
be.
of term.
Then you can put Eberle or Bjorkstrand or whoever you want in that top 6, bump down to the third line, give you a little depth. And that's even without Matty Beniers and Eli Tollin.
I'm kind of disappointed with the amount of buyouts. I feel like you'd think that there would be more buyouts happening.
Yeah, you and your buyouts. The guy could be making 1 year, $1 million, and you'd say buy him out if he's no good.
I'm just gonna read some of the chat things here. Joe, thanks for the audio breakdown. That seems reasonable. And no, I'm not from Ottawa, but I'm an Ottawa fan because of a monkey spinning a wheel in 2007.
The monkey.
Really?
So-
Not because of Alfie? Not because of Alfie?
Alfie definitely
so?
helped afterwards, but the original thing was the monkey spinning the wheel before the Cup Finals, and then
Classic.
I like these guys.
Definitely in the monkey. So if
Honestly,
we keep
the
bringing, while we wait on
Senators
Chandler
are
Stevenson,
definitely a underrated Canadian team, I feel.
Joe
Really
just
underrated.
realizing I'm quoting a tweet that I retweeted. Joe follows me on Twitter? That's sick.
wow. Let me know if you get details on Chandler Stevenson. I'm going to keep breaking it down. Slim, you're going to love this one. Slavin gets his extension. So Brady Shea gets 7x7, but Slavin, one of the best, if not honestly the best defenseman in the NHL, gets 8x6.5, one of the top defensive defensemen in the league, 99th percentile of wins above replacement of the last 3 years for weighted average data, 90th percentile of even strength offense to boot, 99th of even strength defense, draws a ton of penalties compared to the number that he takes. He was getting Lady Bing votes and all that. 100th percentile for penalty kill. Slim, just go off here for the Slavin extension.
I love it.
He did, Caleb.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, I don't know, Slavin's one of the best defensemen in the league. absolutely worth the money he's
He's
getting.
underpaid.
Yeah, underpaid even.
Chandler
Yeah.
Stevens, 7 years, 6.25.
Wow, 7 years and
Also,
6.25.
also with Grizzly, like at one point was seen as one of the best defensemen in the league, and then like I kind of looked and I was just like, he doesn't really seem like the best defenseman. It's like, like especially in the playoffs, he gets exposed every year. Like in the regular season, he's like a plus 111, in the playoffs he's like a minus 20, and I'm like, yeah, that's not good.
So the Ducks and the
so I'm
Islanders,
like,
the only teams not to sign anybody today, by the way. So far.
I'm not shocked. I mean, Lou
No.
Lamoriello and Anaheim. I mean, Anaheim can never get really anyone. Like they got Gudis and Killorn last year. But, like they're not like the same players they once were.
Mhm.
So it's like, I mean,
So 6.25 million, by the way, on Chandler Stevenson makes him the highest paid forward on the team. That would probably pushes someone in the top 6 down, maybe Tolvanen down to the third line, maybe. But I'm liking how things look in Seattle right now. They weren't that far off.
better
between the
than
playoffs and the first
Graves.
year. Yeah, so if you go ahead
Grizzly
and,
better than Graves. I don't know if I'd say. I think they're kind of the same defenseman. Honestly, they both kind of are just overrated. I don't
they're
really
different,
think
they're very
they're-
different styles.
Well, yeah,
But-
yeah. Like one of them is defensive, the other one's offensive, but like they both are cones at the end of the day. Like they're not as good as they are like brought up to be.
Still, the 2 top players in Seattle signed at over 7 million, the 2 highest paid players for the Kraken.
Yeah, he was
Defense-
atrocious last year, but so is Grizzly, and both of them sucked in the playoffs. So I don't really understand like why.
7 by 6.25. There you go. So there's the deal on Chandler Stevenson. We'll get to his breakdown on his card in a moment. We'll keep recapping the day that was. When I get to the top, we're going to try and wrap this up soon enough. It's been about 2 hours that we've been live now. So we could stay live for 8 hours and there'll still be stuff happening. We got to wrap it eventually. So we'll try to get through all the signings that have been and then try and call it there. Mantha, 1 year at 3.5 in Calgary, 2-way scoring winger. Big, but doesn't play big, as we mentioned when he was traded to Vegas initially. Fell out of Vegas's lineup down the stretch. Similar, the Vegas Golden Knights traded for Tatar years ago, first, second, and a third, ends up being a healthy scratch. They trade for Mantha this year, ends up being a healthy scratch. But he still has value. 87th percentile of wins above replacement over the last 3 years. Had a solid enough season analytically with the offense, even strength offense and defense. But unfortunately just fell out of favor, had a tough time fitting into Vegas. And in the end, Calgary's going to get a solid enough player at $3.5 million, a guy who can hopefully find the potential that he's always had and then get a long-term deal after that. But I think he'll have the room to thrive in Calgary with Mangiapane gone. Play him with some decent names in Kadri, Sharangovich, Huberdeau hopefully can find his way a little bit more. I don't know what. But Mantha has the chance and will have the opportunity and the room to prove himself in Calgary. So there's a signing from the Flames. David Perron, we went over him already, veteran forechecking winger. He's getting older. He's falling off a little bit in his skating and his whatnot. See, his value has dropped quite steadily, or even steeply, I should say, in the last year. His offense especially, while his defense has been steady enough. So
Perron is still
Perron's going to be
Stanley
a
Cup
veteran there
champion.
for the Senators. Say again, Slim?
I don't like the 2-year term because he's 36 years old. That's
Right.
really the only thing.
Max
I don't
Jones
like.
signing in Boston, by the way, there.
Oh yeah, great! Another Ducks prospect that can't.
There you go.
develop.
There you go.
So shocked.
Brady Shea signing the 7x7 with the Predators. We already went through this, but again, just to say, huge AAV on Brady Shea, who is definitely has value. Is definitely worth a team spending big on. But if you take away the goals and the finishing, you think of him just as a defenseman, a top 4 defenseman. Yes, he's not 82nd percentile of even strength defense. Yes,
He's
his overall
basically
value
a more
has been
expensive
going up.
version of Luke Shen.
I see, yeah, more expensive Luke Shen. Throws the body, blocks shots. Yeah, I see that. But 7x7, both the term and the AAV are very high in my opinion. But hey, the Predators want to make a splash, and they made their splash. So there you go, Brady Shea getting paid. Elias Lindholm, another guy who we went over already, complimentary 2-way center who's good at finding soft areas around the net and getting open. Coming off a very difficult season, though. 2 years ago, 40-plus goal scorer in that great environment in Calgary. Hasn't quite been the same. In Vancouver, played more of a 2-way role, which is fine. But will he be able to do that in Boston, or will he need to be relied on to be more offensive. As you can see, the offense took a huge nosedive, while the defense did improve. Overall, as a player, his value has dropped quite a bit, so he needs to pay back what the Bruins are taking a gamble on in him. 7 by 7.8 for Elias Lindholm, who could be someone who's worth way more than that contract is paying him, or it could end up being a little ugly. Ilya Samsonov to Vegas, is that it? Who are the top 10 free agents that are left unsigned? Let me get that for you here, Noah. But it sounds like Ilya Samsonov's going to Vegas.
Tarasenko is one of them for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But there's a good number. Jeff Skinner, Schmidt, Atkinson, Henrique, Verana, Campbell, Brody, Tarasenko.
Henry, no one wants Henry. I'm kind of sad at that. Henrique's still a really good player. Man, Edmonton, you guys are
Olofsson,
stupid.
Wenberg, Zaitsev, Hoffman, Barry, Klingberg, Beauvillier, Gostisberg, Roslovic.
I mean,
that's sorting by last year's AAV. If you sort by
I would not touch Klingberg with a 10-foot pole.
I'm not touching Zaitsev with a 10-foot pole either.
I'm not touching Klingberg with like
Vogel's been signed already, so take
20-foot pole
Vogel.
or whatever. Why the heck would I want to? Or Skinner, like Skinner's like over. Like Skinner is not that good. Like he's good, but like he's not like he's a one-dimensional player. Jason Zucker, you signed with the Sabres of
1 year,
teams?
$5 million on Jason Zucker. Yeah, 1 year, $5 million. Veteran offensive winger. Ended up in a fourth line role this season, but what's under the hood suggests that there may be a middle six or even a second line upside to his game still. 94th percentile of even strength offense. Crazy bump offensively. His finishing went astronomically high from like 0 to 75, then dropped back down to earth. Hold on a second, Slim.
Sabres.
His defense has been dropping quite steadily as well as he's getting older, but that's on, he was doing well in Pittsburgh, signed a deal in Arizona to get paid, ended up going to the Predators short term at the deadline, and now here's going to be in probably a middle six role with the Sabres at $5 million, similar AAV, but will he be able to steady out those numbers that have been kind of up and down? That's gonna be the question on Jason Zucker. And yeah, shock collar on Slim. No move clause for Stevenson in years 1 to 4, 10-team no trade in years 5 to 7. Makes it. What are you saying? What are you saying there, Jack? Jack is spewing fake news there in the chat.
Jack is saying something here. Marner in Vegas.
No, that's fake news, Jack. Don't give me fake news.
Okay, I found the source of his Samsonov tweet, and it's some Russian guy who hadn't tweeted anything in 2 years prior to this.
Wait, Stamkos is going to Nashville?
Yeah, well, good morning and smell the coffee.
He's also saying that Ilya...
Oh, I'm having coffee right now, so I mean, like, what the heck are we doing?
All right, moving on now to Victor Arvidsson, signed 2 years at $4 million by the Oilers. I wish there was a metric for shooting on this card. His microstat card is not here. One of the better shooters when healthy in the NHL.
In Philadelphia.
Who's in Philadelphia?
Garnet Hathaway staying in Philly 2 years, 2.4.
Gotcha. Thank you, Garnet Hathaway, staying with the Flyers. So Victor Arvidsson.
I like that signing for Philly.
Middle six scoring winger who thrives off the rush, loves to shoot the puck, great secondary scorer, although it hasn't translated in the playoffs recently, nor has he been fully healthy, right? But when healthy, 87th percentile of even strength offense. His finishing took a big jump, then came back down a little bit. But I like Arvidsson a lot. I think he's going to do very well in a team that he fits what Edmonton needs, and I like the fit between Arvidsson and the Oilers.
He was injured in the 2022 playoffs. But 2023 and 2024, no, I don't think that he was.
Alec Martinez, depth signing for, not even depth, just defensive signing for the Blackhawks, 1 year, $4 million. Veteran
I love this for Chicago.
Matt Dumba for Dallas.
Who's Dallas?
Matt Dumba.
Hey, Matt Dumba to Dallas. There you go, Landon. Matt Dumba to Dallas. And Ryan Lomberg finally has to deal with the Flames.
Enjoy, Landon. Enjoy.
There you go, Landon.
That is what you get. That is what you get for defending Pierre DeBoer and his stupid decision making.
So Martinez, huge. Look at this. Look at this parabolic, not parabolic, just a straight
Exactly. You
What's a
hate
straight
him,
line down?
Pavelski, even though
What's
like
the
he
word
was
I'm
really
looking
like
for
a
in a graph and lines
whatever.
coming straight down like that? Like a parallel line. Anyways, defense has been always consistent for
Lumberg
Martinez.
recovery. Why?
Always
Why
blocks,
Lumberg
always hold on. I'm
recovery?
gonna have to put a mute here.
No.
So
No.
always blocks, always hits. Can he stay healthy? I don't know, but he provides much more stability to Chicago than they previously had. So there you have it. Do Oilers trade Nurse this offseason? I don't know. It'll be tough to find a partner.
Okay,
I'm sure they'd be
I
shopping
No.
him.
what
No one's
saying.
gonna touch that contract.
Zadorov, 6x5 with the Bruins, physical defenseman who thrives on chaos. He throws hits. He forces out opposing forwards to dump pucks in and out of fear. He moves the puck out of the zone, often with possession, carries it in, scores goals, fights, and takes plenty of penalties. What a beast.
I
Six
don't
by
know
five
if
does
I
feel like
like
a lot of
that.
term. The term does feel heavy on him. But
Well, I mean, like he really like bounced back from like a few times, and like outside of that, he's kind of been like a solid third pairing guy. So I don't really know how I feel about this signing.
yeah,
But
75th percentile of unit strength defense for the last few years. Had a little magical scoring touch in the playoffs. I'm surprised that Canucks, who needed defense, wouldn't be able to give him $5 million. But goes to Boston with Lindholm. 2 Canucks going to Boston there.
well, I mean, I like the Canucks defense, but like, I mean, you know.
Well, speaking of defense,
Zadorov cross-checks McDavid, so he's a hero.
there you go. Brendan Dillon signs the New Jersey Devils 3 years at $4 million. Another physical defensive defenseman in that 90th percentile of unit strength defense. So this is great for the Devils and their situation on the blue line. If we look at New Jersey's team right now, they have $6.77 million in cap space, and their defense is now Pesci, Dillon, Siegenthaler, McDermott, Hughes, Nemec. That's even without DeSimone and Kovacevic, who they just traded for. So I like the blue line here in New Jersey very much.
That's a physical. That's a physical
blue line. They even adding Paul Cotter as well.
I like that for New Jersey. New Jersey, like, you know, because like they get defensemen that can actually defend, because their issue is that they had so many offensive defensemen, like with Dougie Hamilton, and I like that for the Devils. They actually have a defense that can actually defend.
New image here for the Devils. And I forgot about Dougie Hamilton too. Oh my goodness, forgot about Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah, but Dougie Hamilton's like a fourth forward. So
yeah, but still, he's going to be someone on their blue line. So Hamilton, Pesci, Dylan Siegenthaler, Hughes, Nemec. That leaves McDermott at 7th D. Kovacevic there as well. Wow, I forgot about Dougie, of course. Wow. Yes, we did see Travis Stevenson. Yeah. Okay, Sean Monahan, big deal here to the Blue Jackets. 5x5, middle 6 offensive center who can play the bumper on the power play, but put the puck in the net and distribute it at 5-on-5. Huge contract for Sean Monahan in terms.
I don't like that.
I
don't like that contract given
the injury
injuries
concerns
and the one-dimensional play.
Yeah,
and like you already gave Gaudreau that contract, and like he's not been good.
There you go, Hobbsy and Slim here. Take the helm for about 90 seconds. I gotta get my charger. So talk a bit about Monahan or anything else. It's I don't know what I'm doing, but
I mean,
Hobbsy, you can do babysitting.
I don't. Oh, come on.
Okay, well, we're going to not talk about free agency because I want Slim's thoughts on Beckett Seneca at 3.
Oh, I like it. I mean, I'm kind of like shots, but you know, I mean, I trust Scott Niedermayer. You know, I trust Scott Niedermayer more than I trust these dorky people that think that, you know, it was a reach. I mean, you know, it's not like he drafted a player that is known for being one-dimensional, like a Yamachuk or whatever the heck his name is, or I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, this is the team with prospects. You never really know how they are.
How about the Solberg pick? I feel like he's a guy you would like.
Yeah, I think that he should be good. And with baseball, Hobbsy, I think that I'm sorry for jinxing the Jays. I really wanted them to win because, as we all know, the Yankees deserve absolutely nothing.
That
And
series was wild. It was
Okay,
a
what am I coming
split,
back to here?
and neither game was close. We
yeah,
switched topics to baseball for the last 10 seconds.
So yeah,
yeah.
Monahan he reunites with Johnny Gaudreau, but at the same time, 5x5. It's a bit risky
I would have
considering
stayed
the
in
injuries.
Winnipeg. And he's one dimensional as he's basically like he's kind of like Josh Anderson in a way. Not really. I mean, overpaid, and I don't really know if I like that. But credit to him for getting the money.
For sure, his values had a huge rise, but he was making 6 million, or was it 6.5, or making above 6 million, or 6 million ish. Gets dumped for a first, and then a couple of years later in free agency gets signed back for 5.5 or 5x5, whatever it was.
Yeah, the issue is though is that like 23 was like honestly his best all around season, and in terms of offense and defense, and then now it's like he's basically like Josh Anderson but with like better PR. It's kind of you're like one dimensional, great scorer, and just inconsistent and not healthy. And
I see.
that
I
kind
see
of
it.
that's kind of scary if you're Columbus because you already have other guys that are known for being one-dimensional players that were seen that actually had a great defensive season, like Gaudreau and Line never was a great defensive player, but he's shown like some glimpses of defense, but like he's never really like been consistent with it. And like you're paying all those guys like a crap ton of money, and they're not really doing anything, productive offensively to warrant their bad defense. So it's like I don't really know.
Hmm.
Okay,
And
I'm gonna pop in here with a couple things. First of
Mhm.
all, Joe's question in the chat: what am I most anticipating? Probably the Chikrin trade, which already happened.
yeah,
Josh
you
Brown. Look
said
at was it Josh Brown 3x1.
Down 3x1.
Everybody's getting term.
That player's getting term.
This is ridiculous.
I
Even
like
Chandler
that.
Lachinsky, at least 2 years at league minimum.
I like that for Josh Brown. I think Josh Brown's a physical shutdown defenseman who can, give you third pairing minutes and physicality.
I see it. All right, let's move on from Monahan. Let's try and get through as much as we can here. We're past lunchtime here. Come on
But
now.
oh, I like this one. A
Here we go.
defensive
6x2. Let me get 6x2 on William Carrier. Another deal in which we see tons of term, and because of that, he gets maybe a bit more than he would have gotten in a 1 or 2 year deal. Or sorry, maybe a bit less than he would have gotten in a 1 or 2 year deal, but he gets the 6 years. Carrier, he is one of the league's top analytical darlings in terms of fourth line players. We looked at him earlier on. He has his cup ring. He has strong play driving numbers at both ends of the ice, good scoring rates and scoring chance creation. For a guy who's playing these fourth line minutes, being the 93rd percentile of even strength offense and 96th percentile of even strength defense, incredible. His finishing fell off a cliff, but that's fine. His offense and his defense are both close at 100th percentile, giving him 76th percentile over the last 3 years of weighted average data. Slim, take it away on William Carrier.
I wish it would have been so cool to have him in Washington with like Nick Dowd and this other guy. Like
I think
the
Labushkin's off to Dallas as
Capitals.
well, by the way. Sorry. I think Labushkin
The
signed 3
Capitals'
years with
fourth
Dallas.
line last year was like the best defensive line, and they were also really great offensively as well. And I was led by my glorious king from Alabama, Nick Dowd, and But about that, oh my
Josh
God,
Brown.
yeah, I kind of take it back. Josh Brown, yeah, I don't know, yeah,
Yeah, he's not good.
maybe he can bounce back, but I don't
Anyways,
know.
back to William Carrier.
Yeah, so he has a Stanley Cup ring, so you better put some respect on his name. Therefore, he is clutch and he is physical and
Yes, sir.
he is a defensive wizard that deserves all the respect in the world. He really actually thrived a ton in Vegas, and honestly, I love this deal for Carolina. This is like Steven Mason, 2.0 kind of in a way.
Josh Yohe dropping some Penguins news, hearing they're in trade discussions.
What's up, Mark?
Riley Smith.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Riley Smith being shopped seemed to be inevitable.
All right, guys. So, do you think that Barkov is the best player in the league?
Ooh, that's a discussion for another day. Moving on to the next signing, Brush 7 by 5.5 with the Vancouver Canucks. Top 6 scoring winger and a well-rounded offensive game and good defensive metrics who plays in all situations. Lots of goal scoring upside, even if it's not the most consistent. So we already looked at Jake DeBrusk, so I'm not going to go deep into Jake DeBrusk. But there's a lot more blue on this card than I had thought. I wasn't as familiar with Jake DeBrusk's game as I probably should have been. DeBrusk has been improving well over the last few years.
I don't really think. I think that the eye test doesn't really back it up due to the fact that, like, yeah, he's improved a lot, but like the inconsistencies. So, like,
Brendan Smith to Dallas, by the way.
Brendan Smith to Dallas. Yeah. 1 year, $1 million.
Yeah.
I like that for Dallas. That's a solid just depth. My God, Nashville's building like a super team or something. Like Nashville's building like a.
I don't know what Nashville's doing. Matt Dumba 2 times 3.75.
They're building a super team there out there in Nashville or something. They're like signing all like the top guys basically.
Yeah, 2.375 we said. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Dumba?
Peg Noda saying the Penguins have had extension talks with Sidney Crosby and Marcus Pettersson.
Man, what? I thought he was going to the Maple Leafs. I thought that Crosby was going to the Maple Leafs.
Oh, sit down, you delusional Habs fan.
Nah, come on, as if the things that TSN was saying a few months ago made me like.
Yeah,
violent.
but that's rich coming from a Habs fan when Habs fans like propose all these dumb trades all the time.
Please.
Josh Anderson for like Simon Nemec. Are you kidding? And Jack Hughes? Are you kidding me?
No.
Are you kidding me? To Buffalo.
Sit down, Data. Sit down. Stop. No, we are not doing this right now. We are not doing this. I can agree.
All right, Slim's been muted. He'll take 60 seconds off. Next up, Danton Heinen. So keeping with Vancouver's selections, Danton Heinen, 2 years at $2.3 million, middle six utility winger who produces at a good rate, has strong puck skills, can play anywhere in the lineup, and kills penalties. Nice to see him finally getting more than a 1 year deal. Again, another one of those guys.
That's legends.
How did you unmute yourself? Mute. Mute again. Hold on. What are you doing out of timeout? There you go. You're back on.
That Matt Dumba card is not good.
You're going to get back to it in a second. So Danton Heinen, in that 67th percentile, he was playing probably more minutes than he should have been with the Penguins and the Bruins. And now here he is going to be signing in Vancouver, hopefully continue to be in a middle six role. And he's been okay in that middle six role. So Danton Heinen, I like the signing a lot. I like the AAV. If Martinook is getting 3.1 and Heinen's getting 2.3, I'm very happy as Vancouver. So I think
guys, I know I got muted, but can I say something? It's rumor that I think the Islanders might sign Duclair. 4-year deal, Duclair.
Oh, there you go. The insider, Slim the insider. Okay, that unmuted you. That keeps you unmuted. Slim the insider. 4-year deal for Duclair coming in to the New York Islanders.
I still haven't seen anything about Duclair to the Islanders, but I will trust him.
Yeah, Pepper Beak, buddy.
Never mind.
Pepper
there
Beak.
It is, yeah.
If Lou Lamoriello is doing more than you, I really don't know what to say right now.
The Islanders also signed Mike Riley to a 1 year deal.
Oh, yeah, I love Mike Riley. There's your defense.
Cry more, Jack. You didn't say it in the chat. You didn't say it in the live stream, so cry more.
Eric Gustafson to Detroit.
I'll bet.
2x2.
All right, let's try and keep working through these. Kiefer Sherwood, the third consecutive one from the Canucks that we'll get to now. 2 years at 1.5, bottom six, forechecking winger who hits everything that moves. There you go. I think he scored the first goal of the season as well. I think he opened up the scoring of
legend.
Yeah, Ducks legend Kiefer Sherwood. Numbers speak for themselves here. Good fourth liner, very physical, solid enough defensively.
They're the dream Tocchet system. I love that comment. That's actually Tocchet, dude. I love the Canucks and what they're doing. They're like building like a
Slim's tears taste better live, says Mighty Joe.
Oh yeah, well, Mighty Joe, buddy, your tears taste even better.
Sharon Govich, an
I'm
extension here for the Flames. 5 years at 5.75. He's a scoring winger. When the pucks are going in, he's terrific. When they don't, he is useful. So, again, a big jump in 23-24. Big ice time increase. Big increase in the responsibility on his shoulders as well. So you can see the finishing took a big turn upwards as well. What was that streak that he had? Do you remember what it was, Hobbsy? He had some streak at one point, Sharon Govich.
I don't remember what it is.
It was some really crazy. I forgot what it was. Like the Flames record or like top 5 in the Flames like goal scoring streaks, something like that this past season. Anyways, though, solid player who is now in a second line role. And for 5.8 by 6, that again, I haven't used this word in a little while now. Digestible, very digestible at 5.8 for 6 years on Igor Sharon Govich, who had what, like a 50-some, 60-some point season? Was that what it was? Yeah.
Was,
If you want to pull it up for me while I get to the next player.
Kevin Stenlund. No, not Kevin Stenlund.
How many points was Opsy?
Oh, Sharon Govich's points last year? Give me
Yeah.
1 second.
Oh man, I'm so sad. I like Kevin
Stenlund, reds everywhere, but that even strength defense, bang,
I don't care.
82nd
The
percentile.
defensive wizardry was also
reference.
that defense he played. He was so great defensively.
Slim, hold on. Sharon Govich, how many?
With 31 goals and 59 points and 82.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you very much. Another guy who gets termed 2x2 on Stenlund, a depth fourth liner gets 2x2. Is that just, can that be attributed to the increasing salary cap, or is it just how free agency goes?
Well, he did win a ring.
Oh, well.
He did win a
Why didn't we
ring.
add a 0 then?
I'm just saying he did win a championship. He was really important for that championship team. He played great defensive. He was great defensively when the team needed him to be, and he was also a part of that. Just he was that shutdown guy, you know, PK blocking shots, you know, helping the Panthers defensively, you know, against the top offensive teams, and that cannot be taken away from them.
Mighty Joe says, check out what Nate Thompson has to say about the Lightning.
Nate Thompson, what a legend, Nate Thompson.
Sens legend.
Yeah.
Nate Thompson, the Tampa Bay Lightning will have this stain on the organization forever. Successful or not next season, it's still a huge mistake. Lost a captain and one that produces. That's all on the surface. Not even mentioning his off-ice impact, which is bigger. Smashville is laughing now. I kind of agree. As much as Gensel is better than Stamkos at this point in his career, in certain ways, and maybe in the majority of ways, I do think it's a big mistake to not do what you have to do to get him back. If you're willing to do extreme things like move Sergachev, again, why did you bring in Ryan McDonough? I don't know. That's always going to be.
This is really a sad day for Tampa Bay Lightning fans. Honestly, that's
Big time.
just really sad.
Big time.
Trading away one of the best players in franchise history. Why is Jake B getting actual like money? He's not that good. He's terrible.
But he had value last year, above the 25th percentile. His
That's
defense.
Because of his offense. His defense.
No,
is
look at the defense. Don't make me mute you. Look at the defense.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Still
not that good.
Contract is 7 by 9.
No, I agree. Still not that good. Say again, Hobbsy?
Gen Z asked what Gensel's contract was. It's 7 by 9.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Still not that good. But for $1.8 million for a third pair defenseman who is still young enough, that's fine. So Calgary gets Jake Bean, depth defenseman. We'll see what he does in probably his last. These next 2 years will be his last chance to do something. Once he's 28, and if he continues on the same trajectory, I don't know what would be the future for Jake Bean after that. Next, Patty Maroon. Get excited, Slim. Patrick Maroon, 1 year, $1.3 million, physical veteran depth winger. Despite being in that 8th percentile, he still is.
This guy gets dug. It's disrespectful as hell. The amount of healthy scratches. Guess what, buddy? He's a winner and he's a legend. You put some respect on his name.
There you go. Put some respect on Patty Maroon's name. 35th percentile of even strength offense, 33rd of even strength defense. Speaking of some respect on the names, leave a subscription if you haven't already. Leave a like if you haven't already. Join the team here on the channel. Almost 8,000 subscribers. It would be that much better with you as a part of it. Franchise modes, career simulations, breaking news and analysis in the real world of hockey. We'd love to have you join us. If you're listening and you're not subscribed, hey, it's free, and you'll be able to be made aware of all the breaking news and stuff that happens on the channel. If it doesn't work out, unsubscribe later. But I bet that you would love being a part of this team. Next, with the Washington Capitals, who've been doing a lot of things today, Brandon Duheim signs with them. He is a fourth-line winger signing at 2 years at $1.9 million. One of the most prolific hitters in the NHL. Very physical player, and the numbers are as they are here. Offense, well, everything took a bit of a dip this past year, and that's why you see his percentile rank drop overall as well. But in a fourth-line role, traded at the deadline, didn't get the most consistent ice time always. Now he'll be able to be a fourth-line role with the Caps, making close to $2 million a year as well.
Oh, TSN's playing Plinko again.
Oh, there you go. Mighty Joe says rumblings of Riley Smith from Pittsburgh to New York.
Oh God, not the Rangers.
That would be great for the Penguins. Riley Smith's just not working out there for the Penguins. The Rangers have the money for that, though?
Well, if they trade Trouba.
True.
They should have bought out Trouba's contract. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
so the Penguins are indeed moving Riley Smith to the Rangers. Just what's it going to be for? So Elliot Friedman confirming that it sounded like Pittsburgh is trading Riley Smith to New York.
I want to say, like,
oh, here's the for all you Habs fans out there. Eric Engels. Habs dipped their toe in free agent waters, but there were only so many players that fit the parameters of what they might be looking for. Some proven scoring help on short term. As I wrote yesterday, this was never going to be the main avenue for them. We'll see what shakes out. They have draft picks / an abundance of left shot D-men, but don't think they're looking to dip into other areas just to land someone they'll have to bet big on. We'll see whether negotiations with Goulet and we'll see where negotiations with Goulet and Slafkovsky go. They're eligible to sign extensions, but not expecting done deals today. Kent Hughes said at his end of season availability that while this would be the most important summer since he arrived, next summer could be even more important. Looking at how the Habs are positioned with money coming off the cap, Demidov coming plus roster maturing, that obviously tracks. I missed one of the tweets in the middle here as well. There was a number 2 that I'd missed. They have no intention of blocking opportunity for some of their younger players, which is a factor in what they do next. We'll see how the trade market develops over the coming weeks, but I think they'll be careful / strategic on that front as well.
The Canadians have made signings as well, right? They've made some signings, right?
Today, no, just Barry Boulet. Draft picks are the return. Riley Smith to New York, confirmed for draft picks coming back Pittsburgh's way.
No, but like with Montreal, like they've made more signings than the Ducks, whereas the Ducks haven't done anything.
Gen Z wants to see if they depth chart as well.
I'm so pissed off. Like Pat Verbeek is just the most dumb. Like
Second and a fifth for Riley Smith.
Second and a fifth for Riley Smith. So Vegas. Here's how the depth chart looks now for Vegas. For Gen Z McKenzie, who was curious. That's me a second and a fifth. Yeah, the Ducks are the only team to not do anything today. A second and a fifth going Pittsburgh's way. They got a second as well for Kevin Hayes coming in. So that's great for them. If we go to Pittsburgh. But who fills, as much as Riley Smith struggled this year, who fills that role as
and every team is a fat egg every time in the playoffs.
So that gives them one first. They didn't have their own second, so that gives them now one first, 2 seconds, a third, a fourth, 2 fifths, a sixth, and a seventh in 2025, assuming those picks from the Rangers are in 2025.
If Vegas built a super team,
King Turby, welcome. All rise for His Royal Highness King Turby. Welcome to the chat.
If Vegas wins and builds a super team, I think that this championship deserves to have an asterisk because
always the super team, eh? There can never just be a good team that wins the Stanley Cup, right? It has to be.
No, this is a super team, and super teams deserve no respect.
Any Bruins updates? Absolutely. The Boston Bruins today, 2 huge splashes as they sign. Wait for it. 87 signings today. Oh my goodness. The Boston Bruins sign Max Jones, but okay, that's not the big one. Hold on.
That's just so uncalled for, dude. I'm so like
Elias Lindholm signing a 7 by $7.75 million contract. Elias Lindholm, new first line center in Boston, signing with the Bruins as well as, I don't see it here, maybe I missed it, Nikita Zadorov signing, was it 6x5? Huge defenseman there signing with the Bruins. So Lindholm and Zadorov both leaving Vancouver and going to Boston. They're the big updates for the Bruins and all you Bruins fans out there. King Turby, got to get you to join the stream here. You donated to be me, remember? You wanted to be me on a live stream? You got to be me. You got to come join us in here. Yeah, good day. Good day. Excuse me. Sniffles coming out here. Joel Edmondson signs with the LA Kings 4x3.8. Physical defensive depth defenseman and cross-checking aficionado. Doesn't do anything with the puck, and while he clears in the crease, can't read, he does give up lots of scoring chances very close to it. I liked Edmondson with the Canadiens, but he was obviously going downhill once he was traded, and he didn't look great with the Capitals either. Perfect. Let me know, King Turby. Thoughts on this one, Slim, for Joel Edmondson?
Oh man.
You've had a lot to say about Edmondson in the past.
Yeah, well, he's just fallen off. I don't think he's ever been the same since his dad passed away. But yeah. Damn.
Fair enough. You were trying to make me lose all my money?
So I gotta respect Joel Edmondson. Oh my God, Ian Cole.
1 year at $3.1 million going to Utah. Maybe I didn't understand his game. 99th percentile of even strength defense. Crazy for Ian Cole. He's been up there. 35 years of age, gets 1 year at $3.1 million. What do you think about that one? I lost you. Slim's too enamored by the blue of Ian Cole. 95th percentile, the penalty kill as well.
I didn't realize Ian Cole was that blue either.
Yeah, those blues.
He also has rings as well.
The rings. There you go.
Yeah. So he's automatically
should have been 6.2.
I mean, that's more legit. You should have made more money. Johnson Drew and another tone.
There you go. Drouin signs 1 year 1 year 2.5 with the Avalanche. Middle six playmaking winger. Had to round out his game to make it work last season, becoming a bit more of a shooting threat and much more hardworking defensively. So yeah, he definitely improved with Colorado. Had 50 some points after his struggles with the Canadiens. So I'm happy to see that. Data 782 Hall of Famer Jonathan Drouin, channel legend. So he's getting paid $2.5 million to come back to Colorado, which is definitely a bump from his league minimum that he was making. Numbers weren't horrible last year. You got to look just last year. The offense and the defense were both above the 75th percentile. He was not bad at all last year, I have to say. More than just not bad. He was not bad at all.
Well, Colorado will do that.
Colorado. So the Avalanche get that with Drouin. One last refresh here. Let's see. Gotta get some lunch. I'm starving. 2 p.m.
Corey's crying in the Discord server about the goal from Dallas in the Cup Finals, and I'm just thinking to myself, buddy, he kicked the puck to himself, so try more.
Let's scroll back down to Drouin, where we've heard Drouin. A few more to go over. There's a lot that happened today. Oh my goodness.
I really want to stay more. I want to stay online more, but I mean, I guess we all have to go sometime, right? So.
That's it. We got to go eventually. Derek Forbort, there's that signing for Vancouver that they needed with moving Zadorov. So 61st percentile. Crazy year this year. Forbort, 1 year contract at 1.5. Physical third pairing D-man. A bit turnover prone, which made fans dislike him in Boston, but also a great penalty killer and strong chance suppressor. Boston gave up basically no odd man or cross slot chances with him on the ice. That's interesting to note. And in that 99th percentile of the penalty kill, the defense was close to the 100th percentile as well this past season.
All right, let's interrupt here.
Yep.
Kirby's asking for an invite.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. I will send that over to you right now, Your Highness.
Wait, King Kirby, what team do you like again?
He's a Bruins fan.
Oh.
The King and Data dining over details of podcast as soon as both order their food. Oh, Chris Tanev is talking on TSN currently.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, brother.
So yeah, Forbort, a lot of value, I think, for the Canucks who needed to have a guy in that third pair. And at 1.5 million with the market, the way the market was going today, that's a fine signing for the Vancouver Canucks.
Ilya Lyubushkin is going to Dallas, but not at 3 years. It's 2 years at 3.25.
Gotcha. 3 years.
Unless that's, I saw 3 years, 10 million floated out.
Someone check in on Landon. He's having a heart attack right now.
2 years at 3.25.
2 years at 3.25. That's a lot on the Bushkin.
Yeah,
And Duclair gets 4 by
y'all
3.5.
Can someone check in?
Ryan Suter.
Someone needs to check in on Landon right now. He's clearly freaking out in a good way.
These are some tough numbers for Lyubushkin to be getting 3.3 million for not 3 years, for 2 years. We said, right?
That's what Friedman was saying. Yeah.
3.25 for 2 years on Lyubushkin, and his defense has fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, they probably should have just kept Ryan Suter if they're going to spend the money on
Exactly.
And Dumba.
Exactly. All right, now everybody, please rise, remove your hats, and give a warm welcome in the chat to His Royal Highness King Turby. Welcome to the stream.
How's it going, everyone? Not Data here. Enjoy the show.
Let's go. King Turby, it's an honor to have you. Thank you for your involvement in all of our series, for your generous donations, for the donations of your time as well. You are a fantastic supporter of what we do here in the channel, and it is an honor to get to speak to you now. Finally, I guess voice to voice.
Trust me, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm in my natural element when I'm watching your live streams heading home from work. So, I'm a dashboard viewing fan.
Perfect. I'm glad to be able to make the traffic a little bit more manageable. There's a few people who have left comments along those lines of traffic, or I say cutting the grass sometimes because I've gotten those comments a few times as well. So I'm always happy to keep you entertained as much as possible. I hope that's what you're doing right now on this beautiful Canada Day, everyone. Happy Canada Day for all my Canadian friends. Hobbsy and myself, the two Canadians here, with Slim and King Turby being the two Americans. We got 2-on-2 here.
Oh, we got half the four nations going.
That's it. We're half there.
Yeah.
Now, if we can just continue, we're close to wrapping up, at least up to where we should be. Warren Fogle, a good signing for the LA Kings. I like this for them. 3.5 for 3 years. Play driving two-way winger with above-average skating ability who contributes on the forecheck and creates scoring chances at a strong rate. Despite scoring 20 goals, he once again played only fourth-line minutes. So now getting paid 3.5, you would think that he's playing at the very least third line, if not some middle six with the Kings, where he's shown the ability to be 96th percentile of even strength offense. What do we think about this? Let me throw it to you, Hobbsy. What do you think about this for the LA Kings?
I like it. It's pretty good. It's pretty much an Arvidsson for Fogle swap. And,
that's what I was going to say, yeah. Good point.
So I got a question. Can we backtrack to the Forbort one when you're done talking Fogle?
Yeah, sure thing.
So I'll hold up until you guys are done.
Now go for it. That's pretty much all we had to say about Warren Fogle. I think he fits the middle six wing well. Arvidsson is out. Fogle is kind of he provides the scoring to maybe a bit of a lesser degree than Arvidsson, but also brings a lot of physicality and play driving. So I like it for the wing.
Also better defensively.
Also better defense as well. I like it for the wing in LA, yeah.
And
but now
younger.
Also younger. Too. I pulled up the numbers on Derek Forbort. King Turby, take it away.
So I wasn't one of the Bruins fans that were hard on Forbort. That guy played. He was an absolute shot blocking and penalty killing monster for us. Like, that dude ate more pucks than half the goalies I've seen play. Like, it's ridiculous at how willing this man is to throw himself into oncoming fire. He does have injury problems. I mean, he's broken numerous bones while being here, just by stopping pucks. So, I mean, you put that man in a bottom six role with heavy penalty killing minutes, and like you mentioned in the stats, like he is beyond efficient, but you don't expect him to be top four for you.
Mm-hmm. And I think Vancouver can do that now with having I get a little refresher here on Vancouver's blue line after it's changed a little bit with Zadorov and White out. But here it is.
You mean
So
Cole.
Hughes and Hronek is your top pair. Susie and Myers is your second pair. And you have a third pair of Forbort and a mix of either Juleson or Friedman or Jet Wu. I think that's definitely doable.
Oh
That's
God,
a lot
yeah.
of that's a lot of physicality too.
A lot of
I like
physicality,
that.
yeah.
And he's not. I was going to say there's more defensemen out there that are not as responsible as Forbort, but like he got a bad rep here because he was, he had a decent contract to be playing, third pair D, and it was a lot of money for what he was doing. But I look at him leaving purely as circumstance of cap, but I mean, as the player goes, like I said, Vancouver fans, if there's any in here, you guys you're gonna enjoy him. I mean, he's not a superstar defenseman, but he does all the things you want a defenseman to do, and he does them well.
That's it.
I
Mighty
like
Joe saying, King, if I'm ever in Boston, we got to grab a beer. So Mighty Joe and King Turby, we'll set it up.
All right, so unfortunately, I'm one of those odd ducks that are allergic to hops, but you want to go for margaritas, dude, we're down.
I'll have to join you too. We'll make a three's company.
What about a Red Sox game? Can we go see the Red Sox?
Dude, I'm not one. I absolutely have zero, like beyond non-existent interest in actually any other sport besides hockey.
Plus, Red Sox aren't that best right now.
Well, I couldn't even tell you anybody on those
teams. I don't even like
teams.
the Red Sox. I don't even like the Red Sox. So it's like, you know what? Cool. I mean, if you don't like the Red Sox, then hey, that makes it even more awesome. Because I mean, I like the Orioles and like the Mets.
Mighty Joe's got
like
the first
Padres,
round, he says as well.
Like the Angels. So yeah.
Mr. Reds Bills.
Good.
I was going to say, Mr. Reds Bills leaves a comment saying the Red Wings trade Wallman in a second to free up a few million to use that money to do nothing. So the Red Wings, as much as no one's really saying,
the Yzer plan, right?
As much as no one's upset with what they're like they've not done any overpayments today. Are Detroit fans not upset with the non-utilization of the cap space that was freed up?
I'm sick and tired of the Yzerman fan excuses. He's an overrated GM. I've said this before. Like, you signed Kopp, Sherratt, and Hall to those awful deals, and Husso, and they're still on the team, whereas you traded a guy that was thriving in your system, and yet you're not doing anything.
Back to the signings about Forbort, though. Forbort, if I remember correctly, King Turby, it was the same offseason that they gave a large contract to Mike Riley. So it was Mike Riley and Derek Forbort both getting like $3+ million.
Yeah.
Both end up being like depth defense.
Exactly. And then we ended up having Low Ray get himself, or I believe Low Ray or Low Rye. I haven't quite yet figured out how to say that kid's name yet. But that kid came out like he was shot out of a cannon.
Yes, and thus pushing everyone else down the depth chart further. And I guess that's where some of the upset feelings come for some Bruins fans. Not that Forbort or Riley weren't good, but that for the money that they were getting paid.
Yeah, So I mean, it was, like I said, it was more contract problems. Like Forbort got treated a lot like how everyone treats Charlie Coyle here. Like Charlie Coyle is a great third center in Boston. Like phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Like
just not the contract he's worth.
Oh, that contract is ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's why I can't stand Charlie Coyle. Like it's nothing to do with the player. It has everything to do with what we're paying him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look at it last year. We tried running, the Zaka Coyle 1-2 tandem, and how old did that get?
Well, it worked in the regular season, but it did not work in the playoffs.
No, we got exposed for our center depth problems. Like, I mean, that just goes to show you how much, we relied on St. Patrice. And I apologize. GPS barking through my phone. Sorry about that.
And Krejci as well.
No worries.
Let's
move on from Forbort and Vogel now. Let's keep getting to some of the other names that were signed today. Michael Matteo, that was one of the ones that Hobbsy was focused on earlier. Another guy, depth guy, who's getting term and even AAV, 3 years at 2.6 to join the Senators. He is a bottom 6 utility forward who's active in the defensive zone, gets chances in tight, and scores at a solid rate. So, yes, he's in that 77th percentile of projected wins above replacement. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of good blue on this card, but is that because he's in more of a sheltered fourth line role and now he's getting paid $2.6 million? You got to think that he's moving into maybe a third line role. And Hobbsy, would you be comfortable with Amadio in a third line role, seeing these numbers on this card?
Seeing the card makes me feel better about the signing.
Agreed.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's 2.6 still. It feels good. I think he scored 15 goals last year, which was nice.
Yeah.
But I think the main thing is Pinto's not signed, and then their cap space just keeps going away, and it's like I need Pinto signed to feel good about more of these moves.
It's true. The Senators are down to 4.4 in cap space. Brandstrom's not getting signed, so that's that.
Brandstrom's out. They still need another defenseman or two, I think.
And even you got to think about the money moving into the year after this one, 25, 26. Allmark needs a contract. Giroux would be expiring.
I almost wonder if they're quietly shopping Josh Norris.
I wonder, eh? I could see that. I could see them quietly considering that option. Interesting.
Yeah, but would anyone want to take Josh Norris due to his health concerns?
Well, yeah, you'd need to find a dance partner, but
for sure,
I think
that's the thing.
The
Josh
value's
Norris
definitely there if he can stay healthy, but the problem.
Yeah, but he's never healthy. That's the thing. Like, and his injury issues are a massive concern as well, and that's just the thing that sucks.
That's it. Well, moving from one fourth liner to another, Stefan Nason, another guy who has fourth line minutes, but is getting paid now $2.8 million for the next 3 years in New Jersey. New Jersey's they're getting physical. Dillon and Pesci and Cotter and now Nason. Stefan Nason is a utility winger who has made himself useful in various roles across the Canes roster in the past 2 seasons as a forechecker, passer, and net front player, including on the power play. So that's why we can see 84 on the percentile there for the power play. But even strength, offense, and defense are up there. I like this a lot for Nason, and he's only getting paid $200K more than Amadio, who doesn't have as good of a card. So I like this pickup here for the Devils. I like this in a fourth line role. Consistent offense and defense. This is the only guy I've seen that has like a straight line from one year to another of his offense and his defense. So at least there's that to say for the Devils. So I like it for New Jersey in a fourth line role for the 31-year-old. Next up, Matt Grzelcyk. So here's someone that King Turby would know a little bit about. Matt Grzelcyk leaving Boston to sign with the Pittsburgh Penguins. 1 year at $2.8 million. He's a puck-moving defenseman, very active in transition. At one point, he was like the guy in Boston when McAvoy was injured. He was having to do a ton of quarterbacking. Once an analytical darling and has a 65% goal share at 5v5 in the past 3 seasons, but ice time is down and is a frequent playoff scratch. Surprising. There are tools, but it's a reclamation project for the Penguins. For a guy who has dropped off dramatically in the wins above replacement percentile rank, his defense has taken a huge drop as well to be in like the 80s 2 years ago. To now be at like 0, giving him 13th percentile for the last 3 years of weighted average data. Primary assists are still up there. That's good. He plays against decent levels of competition. That's also good. And if we look at just his microstat card for this past season, as Jay Fresh says, at the very least, Grzelcyk should help the Penguins move the puck up the ice because he has that. Pass exit success rate, success per passing play, pass entry prevention, possession rate. All these metrics are good things the Penguins will want to see. What they won't want to see is that second percentile of even strength defense. And I don't know. I think there's hope for Matt Grzelcyk here in Pittsburgh. King Turby, if I go to you first before we go to Slim, what are your thoughts as someone who knows Grzelcyk's game a little bit better? Sorry, I gotta add King Turby back. Sorry, my apologies. King Turby, now you're back in.
Yeah, no, that was my fault. I dropped my phone and hit the home button, so it backed me out of everything.
No worries.
So I haven't been too big of a fan of Grzelcyk. So I think it was like his first or second season when he was playing, he ended up catching a pretty sizable concussion. And if you look at how he played in his first couple of years, like he was, but like in the dirty areas most of the time for someone of his size, playing with Chara, back then. But he got hurt and he hasn't looked the same since. I mean, he is a good passer. I will give him that, but like he's lost a lot of his defensive nastiness that he's had, and he seems a little more easy to win the battles against,
I hear you.
So I don't know. I don't think Pittsburgh's getting the the knockout of the park that they think they are with him. But I mean, he's not a bad player, but it's just he's not as. I don't think he's as good as other people think he is, personally.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. Slim?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like I know before people used to say like McAvoy looks great. He was great like a few years ago. But I think that he was a McAvoy merchant. I'd say. I think he benefited a ton playing with McAvoy. And honestly, like the healthy scratch part in the playoffs is not surprising because in the playoffs,
I don't know if that's me cutting out or is that.
He gets exposed a ton in the playoffs, and he's not a good playoff player because if you look at his numbers, like even in the plus minus, I know plus minus isn't everything, but for a guy that's played in the playoffs every year, basically he's like a plus like 120 in the regular season, and in the playoffs he's like a minus 20. And he's an offensive.
Yeah, he's not a good postseason guy at all.
Yeah, I think plus minus can be used to support the other numbers in an argument like that. To be such a high plus in the regular season and such a high negative in the postseason, I think it speaks to a trend and isn't just some random number of bad luck or whatever it might be.
And he's played for like a lot of years too, and he's played on some great teams, but they never like won anything with him playing. So it's like, but
yeah, I don't know if I go so far to say that he's the reason why.
Yeah, but he's not like helping them either, So. But I don't know. That's just I'm not like really as like notable with Boston teams. I just know that I'm like Grizzly is
like he's been at it. Like you can play him in the top four. He'll eat the minutes, but to what Slim was talking, like his abysmal playoff performances are pretty damning on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear that. Also, Riley Smith, 25% of his contract being retained by the Penguins, by the way.
It's a 2025 conditional fifth, the lower of the two between the Rangers and Minnesota, and a 2027 second round pick.
Oh, my goodness. 2027 second. Maybe he can play with Crosby's son. Oh, my goodness. So there's the updates on there's Grizzly. Zach Aston Reese signs. They didn't put a card on him. Chandler Stevenson, one of the other probably the last big one of note here. Chandler Stevenson signed 7 by 6.35 with Seattle. He's a speedy, complementary playmaker. Crazy that he went from being like depth in Washington to now getting this kind of payday here with the Kraken. Great to see. He can plug in and produce with the right line mates, but really not a driver at all himself. And his passing and skating metrics fell off a bit this season. Not physical or very involved defensively, as we see. But what's very interesting about him are the primary assists per 60 in that 91st percentile. If you want to look, and actually, Jay Fresh says this has the potential to be a catastrophic contract. So I see that.
I thought he was better than that. I mean, I guess I was thinking last year because last year he was like an all-star caliber player.
Yeah, so. I see the potential for it to be a catastrophic contract. At the same time, I think he'll be able to really thrive in Seattle with all of the opportunity that he'll have with the Kraken. But if he's going to be that high, if his bread and butter is going to be the playmaking, in-zone shot assists and shots off high-danger passes, blah, blah, whatever it is like that in the offensive zone, you got to have players who are driving that offense to give them the opportunity to excel in those areas. So is it Matty Beniers and Oliver Bjorkstrand and Yanni Gourde and Jared McCann who can do that? I don't know. So while Chandler Stevenson, I think, is a fine player, I'm not sure if this is going to be the best environment for him in the Kraken. But at the end of the day, he gets paid. He gets his payday. Good for him. I'm not sure if it's going to work out with the Kraken as well as it may have worked out with another team. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, I think we lost King Turby again. He might have accidentally logged out for a second.
Oh, thanks. No problem. I'll just keep adding you back, King Turby. No problem.
Yeah.
Let's see. Garnet Hathaway extended 3 years at 2. Another guy who's going to be extended till his mid-30s as a fourth liner. $2.4 million per year with the Flyers. Defensive, physical, forechecking, analytical, darling winger. Look at that even strength defense and all that.
I miss
love
him.
him.
Yeah,
Oh.
Garnet Hathaway.
The cat,
He was
I miss
great.
I
He
miss
was.
him, Dowd, and that Hagelin line in Washington. Him, Dowd, and Hagelin were like a terrific line defensively. Now it's just Nick Dowd.
You know what I
Jared,
eventually like pipeline dream, because I know the kid just got drafted, but that monster that the Bruins took. Imagine him with like Brazeau and then Hathaway for a third
Yeah,
line. That would be disgusting.
I hear you. Doggy's also back. Doggy wants to keep talking. So Doggy, we'll get your thoughts in here as well as we continue to finish
Yeah.
off.
I was gonna say,
people.
If you're full up data and you got a waiting list, I can hop off because I mean,
No,
I'll
that's
let
everybody.
other people get that done. All right.
We're all good. We're all good, Your Highness. This is everybody. So there's Garnet Hathaway. Resigning
You know what contract signing I actually really did like, and I think it may do him some real good too. But Bertuzzi going to Chicago.
Yeah, that's nice. That's very nice. As we broke down the analytics a bit earlier on, but putting him in that top 6, it's not just Bedard in that top 6 anymore. There's some good pieces in there with Hall and Teravainen and all that. It could be very interesting in Chicago's top 6.
Yeah,
all right, Ryan
they're
Lomberg,
looking like
fresh
they're
off the
coming to
Stanley
play.
Cup.
Yikes.
He signs 2x2 with the Calgary Flames. So the Flames get a little bit of something. They get Sharangovich extended. They get Ryan Lomberg. They also get Anthony Mantha. So busy enough day for the Calgary Flames, as Lomberg is a depth winger who's getting paid $2 million. So he'll definitely be getting consistent time now with the Flames. Slim, you love it?
I wish the Panthers kept him. I feel like the Panthers really loved him a lot. They loved his energy. I don't think he'll be like productive on the score sheet, but I think he'll bring a lot of energy. He's a great hype man, so I think that deserves praise. And yeah. Listen, any player that beats McDavid in the playoffs deserves all the praise in the world.
Yeah, Jake Bean in Calgary too as well. Forgot to mention that.
But this is not a good signing.
You don't think?
No.
Why not?
He was barely in the lineup, and he doesn't really bring anything to the table. Really, I mean, he's a good.
Yeah, his even strength
grinder.
defense was strong enough. His even strength defense from this past was strong enough.
He is physical. He's a great motivational player. He's a guy that hypes up your team. He's like Pat Maroon in a way.
But
I was gonna say he's the Sean Thornton of old.
I would have given him at least a 1-year deal, like prove it
No,
to me.
but in free agency, it's not going to work. On day one of free agency, with the way that money in terms of being thrown around today,
yeah, I know.
it's either you give it to him or you lose him.
This is like money ball, but like in hockey, like it's like Billy Bean is just throwing around money. Like you get a contract. You get a contract.
Calvin
Noah asking, who's the free agency loser today? Yeah.
Oh, the Wild.
Yeah, well, cry more, Mighty Joe. No, the biggest loser is the Ducks. I mean, also the Ducks didn't really do anything.
But the Ducks didn't have that much to do, really.
I guess it's a good thing though too, because Pat Verbeek can't be trusted. I don't trust Pat Verbeek in anything.
The Red Wings
say
could be
Vancouver.
Vancouver. No, Vancouver. I like what Vancouver did.
Vancouver did
Dallas.
They got DeBrusque.
They got DeBrusque. That's garbage.
That's true. We didn't talk. You weren't here for DeBrusque. Tell us your DeBrusque thoughts here, King Turby. In conclusion, there
well
you go.
said. Well said.
Yeah. So as for how Don Sweeney maintained his job, speaking English today, his job after that 2015 draft is, anybody's guess. But yeah, DeBrusque, in my opinion, has been the biggest swing and a miss that we've had in a while.
On top of that, I do think. Yeah, sorry, finish.
I was gonna say, and then the crap he pulled with not liking Bruce Cassidy and demanding a trade and then rescinding it. Take your diva self elsewhere.
I hear you. All right.
Jack Campbell to Detroit.
I was just saying Detroit did nothing. They trade away Wallman in a second to get Jack Campbell. There you go. A third
That's
goalie in their system. So now they have
2015.
Husto, Campbell, and they signed Cam Talbot.
Wow.
Wow,
And
so
even
they
Alex
basically
Lyon's in the
have
system too.
So
they
what are they
basically
gonna do?
have
four
washed
caliber
goalies. No, Talbot is not good anymore.
Shut
Well,
up,
he signed
Slim.
for 2 years at 2.5, so I don't care.
Oh,
I
that's
don't understand what they're gonna do with all 4 goalies.
I don't like
Wow.
that contract.
They must
with
know
Talbot.
something. Husto must not be healthy or something.
I
don't know.
don't like. No, I don't want to hear the excuses. Yzerman is a terrible GM. He's overrated. I don't want to hear the excuses.
No,
I don't
but
want to hear the excuses.
it's not all he's a bad GM.
No. I don't want to hear the excuses.
Oh my goodness. Mute.
At least it's
It
not
can't,
5 million
it
again.
can't be that, oh, Yzerman's a bad GM, so that's why he signed 4 goalies. Oh, I forgot that we had 4 goalies. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. That's not what makes him a bad GM. You'll call him a bad GM for doing other things? Absolutely, no problem. But he's not a bad GM.
we just did a bunch of stupid with goalies out in Boston. I mean, we traded a stud, we got a flaming reject, and we have 3 nice ones in our pipeline. Well, 2 1/4.
There you go. But it's not. Yzerman's not a bad GM because he signs 4 goalies. There's a reason why you sign 4 goalies. Either somebody's injured or Campbell's going to be playing the full year in the AHL or something. You don't have 4 NHL goalies show up at training camp and say, "Oh, all you guys are here, eh? Ooh, what are we going to do about that?
What do we do now?
What do we do now?"
They're gonna make a supersized jersey and tuck 2 bodies in 1 shirt.
I just don't understand the Talbot signing because Talbot's like Talbot. Here's the thing: Talbot was really good with the Kings. Like, he was like best caliber the first half of the season, and in the second half he fell off the cliff. And in the playoffs he was not good. So I don't really understand like the term and the contract. I don't get that.
So Detroit ends up doing something. Aside from that, Penguins I would have wanted to see more from today. I would have wanted to see more from the Stars for sure. The Blues maybe a little bit. The Ducks for sure would have wanted to see more from. Not again, you don't need to make big splashes. Not like, oh, you didn't do anything, therefore you're losers. It's that if you have money to spend and you have roster spots to fill, then go out and spend the money and fill the roster spots. You have almost $32 million. Can you not find at least one person to sign with $32 million?
I can't believe we let Max Jones walk. I know he's not the same. I know he's like not really going to be a lot, but like he's still a solid player.
As of now, I think the Ducks are the biggest losers. Not because they haven't done something, but because they have $32 million to spend and they're just sitting there.
Well, I mean, honestly, I'd rather do that than have Pat Verbeek give out a god-awful contract.
Oh, snap. It's official.
Oh, what?
Philadelphia Flyers have signed Matvei Michkov to a 3-year entry-level contract.
Okay.
How has Tarasenko not been signed yet? That's what surprised me the most.
Yeah, Tarasenko, well, he might want to take his time. Tarasenko took his time last offseason too, didn't he?
He just won a cup. The parade was yesterday.
Yeah, he's gonna take his time. So Josh Brown, he signs 3 years, $1 million to be a depth defenseman in Edmonton, in the second percentile of even strength defense. So I don't know how he gets 3 years.
This one,
Panthers legend.
There you go, 3-year deal for the Edmonton Oilers. That one's questionable as Vinny Desharnais walks and they bring in Josh Brown. Okay.
Well,
Matt Dumba signing
great.
in Dallas for 2 years at $3.8 million.
This one's also bad.
Depth defenseman who shoots the puck and plays aggressively. But what are you saying, Slim? He's a depth defenseman who shoots the puck and plays aggressively. Struggled as a reclamation project this season, or at least I thought so. But clearly the Stars see something they like. So he is playing as a depth defenseman, but being given top $4 at $3.8 for 2 years. Yeah, Arvidsson, we went over Arvidsson already previously. Yeah, Landon saying that Jim Nill botched the offseason, worst offseason in franchise history. He's in that 5th percentile of wins above replacement over the last 3 years of weighted average data. Just around the bottom quarter of the league, 24th and 22nd for even strength offense and defense respectively. Doesn't do well for penalties, penalty kill.
How much are they paying him?
3.8 for 2 years. A lot to not be happy about with that, I think.
Yeah, but the thing is that Dumba has kind of just declined like a ton. Like he was declining with Mini in general as well. Like his shot, like he had a good shot, but then like his shot kind of fell off, and then outside of that, like he doesn't really. He's physical, but I mean, like he's not like that great either.
What's
I like
Dallas's second right pair? Because I mean, they got Miro the Hero top right? So what would their second? Would Dumba be second pair or third pair? You know.
Good point.
I
You know,
don't
Matt
even
Boss,
know.
Dallas got bigger on the back end, but just for who they got bigger for and the money they spent, they're spending over $6 million or close to $7 million on Lyubushkin and Dumba. Oof.
I didn't say it was smart. I'm just curious where they would stick him.
I mean, you could have gotten Zadorov, who's more physical and better defensively and younger. I think. Wait, yeah, he's younger. Yeah.
Blackhawks will be.
Yeah, but he cost almost $2 million more, Dumba though.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of.
tough to
Like,
I mean, but Dumba's a left, right? If I'm not correct.
No, he's
no,
a right.
Dumba's a right shot, which I guess probably gives him more of a raise. I guess. But
yeah, but so why do we sign him? Because our right side's not bad.
I don't know.
No. Zadorov's a left shot. Zadorov's a left shot.
I'm talking about Dumba. Oh, you're saying? Oh,
No.
I
because I was saying like someone made the Zadorov comparison to Dumba, and I was saying, I think we're paying $5 million for him.
He's left right, but I think he's left first.
All right, so he'll be our Grizzly replacement then.
There you go.
He's better.
Carlo
He's
more
physical than Grizzly, though. I think he's more physical than Grizzly. Well, I know. He's
defense in Dallas, according to Landon, would be Miro with Harley on the first pair, Lindell and Dumba on the second, and then Bichelle and Lyubushkin on the third.
God, Oninger, buddy. Oninger, good luck with that.
So that's Dumba. The
The
Stars also signed Brendan Smith, 1 year, $1 million, just depth defense right there. Pony kill specialist. So there you go. Brendan Smith, 1 year, $1 million. Nicolas Aubé-Kubel signed with the Buffalo Sabres. They signed Sam Lafferty as well today. So 2 depth signings for the Sabres today. 1 year, $1.5 million on Aubé-Kubel. Stanley Cup with the Avalanche. Speedy, physical, defensive fourth line forward. 97th percentile in a small sample size of even strength defense. So there you go on Aubé-Kubel. Eric, I'm trying to fly through these just to finish them off. Then we can talk about whoever you all want, but just want to get through these. Eric Gustafsson signs 2 years, $2 million with the Red Wings. So there's one thing that the Red Wings also did today. So essentially, Jake Walman was making 3 point something. So they trade out a second to save $1 million and sign Gustafsson. 2 years, $2 million. He's a two-way puck-moving defenseman who's especially useful in the offensive zone. Yeah, you can see by the metric. I'm very interested by these numbers here. He's come into his own these past 2 seasons. He's a very strong option to win minutes with a third pairing. So I think I think you can definitely put some respect on Gustafsson's name more than has been in the last few years.
Yeah,
look at these last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
2 years of being above the 75th percentile.
This Rory guy did say he struggled in the playoffs, and I can agree with that. He was kind of a little in the playoffs, but he was still good in the regular season. I don't know.
So Gustafsson, 84th percentile over the last 3 years of weighted average data, and at $2 million compared to what Lyubushkin and Dumba and whoever and Ian Cole is getting paid.
No, Ian Cole deserves his contract. Ian Cole is a defensive wizard. Okay, we are not going to talk about Ian Cole getting a bad contract.
That's not a bad contract. I'm just saying what the market is.
No, I know, but I'm just confused into what Yzerman is doing. This would be a good contract on another team, but the Red Wings are trying to get more youth, and they're paying more older guys, and they're paying Sherrod and Petrie and Hall, and now Gustafsson a crap ton of money.
It's over, over $22.7 million left.
Yeah, but it's Sherrod's making $5 million basically to be garbage. Hall can't even play in the lineup consistently, and Petrie's washed.
Gustafsson is the cheap replacement to Ghost, so they lose Ghost. Now they're top 6. Now Sherrod, Hall, Mata, Petrie, Gustafsson, and Seider. That's a bit ugly.
Yeah, that don't look that good.
No, it's a bit ugly. So that's
now. unless they're going to play like, and I feel like such a homer always bringing them up, but I mean, Boston looked awful on paper this year, and we did all right.
There you go. It's a good point.
It is hockey. Weird things happen.
Mm-hmm. Now, Riley Smith acquired by the Rangers in a trade as they give a 2027 second and a conditional 2025 fifth to the Penguins for Riley Smith, who is being also retained at 25%, expiring contract, 1 year left on his deal. Middle six winger who's pretty good at pretty much everything, but could not give the Penguins the scoring they desperately needed from him. That's really too bad. They really needed him. Not the fastest skater, but still a factor on the rush. So the numbers still look good over the last 3 years, but you got to look at this season. It was a big drop-off, I got to say, in the offense. The defense came up, but the offense, and especially the finishing, came down a lot this season, which was ugly. So Riley Smith off to the Rangers. Where does he fit on the team, and how do they have the money for it? I'm not sure. He's an expiring contract, so not the end of the world. That leaves them with $8 million in cap space, and they still have to figure out Lindgren and Schneider. And then the year after that, it's going to be a very difficult 2025 offseason for the Rangers. Kakko, Lafreniere, Cooley, Rempe, Miller, Jones, Shesterkin.
Oh, Igor's UFA. That's going to be expensive.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough offseason.
I'm wondering what Swayman's going to command now.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Smith joins your top six. Probably not. Probably third liner with Lafreniere on the second. So Smith, Kakko, and Carrick is your third line. I don't know, something like that. But the third line role,
Zibanejad, Panarin.
The third line role, he can do it. Now back to Dallas. Ilya Lyubushkin signing with the Stars as well. It's actually 2 years. 2 years at $3.3 million. And this one's also kind of ugly, I have to say. So playing third pair. I don't know.
And for 3 years? That's
we're paying like $7 million. It's for 2 years, actually. It was a mistake.
Oh, it is.
But
on the inside.
That's a lot on Dumba and Lyubushkin.
That man definitely knows somebody inside that team.
So
I won't be surprised if he gets bought out and doesn't finish the contract. This is good. This is a buyout.
Man, you kill me, Slim. No one being bought out if he signs a 2-year deal and there's 1 year left on it next year and they have money to spend, they're not going to buy out.
Calvin DeHaan.
I mean, they shouldn't have signed that in the first place, but hey.
Where's DeHaan going? Where did you say DeHaan was going, Hobbsy?
Colorado.
There you go.
1 year, $800K.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
Anyone else to wrap it up on? Oh my goodness, it's been over 3 hours here. Sheesh, between this and the draft, it's been a lot of live streaming recently.
Data, will we get Diamond Dynasty content?
Not anytime soon.
Oh, great.
This man just did friggin' 3 marathons.
It's okay. Slim's never happy. Don't worry. Don't take it personally.
Team Diamond Dynasty, and I will.
Slim's never content, no matter what.
All of Data's championships are fraudulent because
every single one. Now, Anthony Duclair also signs with the Islanders 4 years at $3.5 million. Speedy, very speedy rushing winger who creates chances at a strong rate and scores on them too. Downsides are poor defense and 5 goals in 39 career playoff games. So massive letter V here and drop off and regaining his ability.
Tell the King, Boston signed Riley Tufte.
Riley Tufte, there he is.
This is not bad signing for the Islanders.
Yeah, I like this for the Islanders actually a lot. They bring in, maybe he ends up playing with Cole Yzerman someday on a 4-year deal. I think that speedy ability would help him out, but I don't know if you want to put 2 defensive holes. Anyways, his defense did improve this year, getting up to the 25th percentile or so. Finishing bounced back. Yeah. So I like it for the Islanders, and Duclair finally gets some turn. Another guy who's been bouncing around a lot of teams like Toffoli. So I like that he gets some turn. He can settle down a little bit. 4 years on him. I think he fits well on the wing in New York as well. If you look at the Islanders lineup here, New York Islanders here. Islanders now have just about $1 million left in cap space. And the lineup's pretty much set if you look at the depth chart as well.
Yeah.
Depth chart for the Islanders shows Yeah, Lee, Horvat, Barzal, Duclair, Nelson, Palmieri, Engvall, Pajot, then even Fashing. Okay, Cizikas on your fourth line. I like it. Cole Eiserman's going to be there soon enough as well. Not bad. Anthony Duclair. Even Ratu's going to be up there soon enough.
Well,
what am I saying? He's on the Canucks.
Well, I mean, crap. I think that the goalies are going to have to carry the Islanders.
And finally, Taylor Radish, another signing for the Capitals, defensive winger. He came over to Tampa in the Brendan Hagel trade. Didn't end up getting signed. He goes to free agency, and the Caps signed him 1 year, $1 million. Defensive winger and penalty kill specialist again. Value not really that much. Not really
I
up
think
there.
that's
But
the Malatestin Malstein replacement for Nick Dowd on the fourth line. I think that would be perfect. I think it's a perfect fit for Nick Dowd and
Anthony Beauvillier to the Penguins.
Beauvillier to the Penguins. One last chance for his career.
1 year,
Beauvillier
1.2.
to the Penguins.
How old is he again?
like 27, 28.
No, not that old yet.
He's got to be like 25, right?
I think it's. I thought it
26.
was
27.
Anthony Beauvillier. I was going to say 26, 27. He is born in June 8th, 1997. So next week, he turns 24 plus 3. He turns 27 next week. I was right, 26, 27. There you go. Turns 27
I
next
said
week.
27 too. 27, 28.
I thought
we'll
he'd
cry
cry
harder.
harder than that, but
You cry harder, Dita.
Scream your juicy tears.
Bring your juicy tears out, Dita. The Habs will never win anything with your terrible.
Max Jones ended up. It was 2 years, $2 million, by the way, on Max Jones to Boston.
Why do we let?
Mighty Joe. June was last month. I forgot it's July. It's not July 8th that he turns 27. It was June 8th. So he is already 27. We're in July.
Nice going, dork.
You're driving this bus and you can't even get the dates right. Come on.
Come on. I know. I'm looking at a one eye right now.
Data, you're such a bus rider. You let your assistant GMs carry you to your rings.
There you go. They're saying also Ilya Samsonov to Vegas.
Hasn't he already been signed?
I've been saying that, but Vegas. Okay, actually, that makes sense if Schmid isn't getting qualified. That makes sense.
Yeah, isn't he a free agent?
Schmid's gonna walk.
I think.
They have how much money? They
have.
They have 1.8 million, but with LTIR they have 6.84. So if Leonard's still going to stay on LTIR, Hill and Samsonov as your tandem, that's good. I like that. Hill and Samsonov as your tandem is solid.
Yeah, but what version of Samsonov are they going to get?
But that's a good thing. You don't need him. Even if you get the bad version, you can rely on Aiden Hill. That's the good thing.
Aiden Hill is pretty trustworthy, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I don't know much about Hill, but what I've seen of Samsonov, holy no.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whew. So, ladies and gentlemen, much more will continue to happen in free agency, but we're at over 3 hours and a quarter. There's the recap on everything that's been, and we're up to date now, finally. If I bring you back to this page here, we go to Cap Friendly and look at the signings of the day. How many signings? 99 signings, 245 contract years, $246.3 million on the cap hit, and $898.295 million contractually committed to.
Pocket change, boys. All pocket change.
So Beauvillier, Dehan, Patera, most recent signings, Yuri Patera going to the Canucks. Campbell with Detroit, we said. Sheldon Dries to the Canucks. But 99 signings and we're getting close to $1 billion. Just about $900 million.
We're going to have to get Data's PayPal transfers to look like that.
If the bank account for Data 782 Incorporated could look like that, that would be great.
Right?
Yeah.
Data, can we look at the remaining free agents?
Rangers? Oh, the ones who are still there?
Yeah, the remaining ones.
Oh, they're all remaining. I said Rangers, sorry. So, remaining free agents to end off the stream. I'm not sure if I'll go live with any others aside from maybe Jeff Skinner or something like that. But honestly, I'm pretty wiped, and I'm leaving the country in 2 days, and I've not prepared anything. So
where are you going?
Dude, just bring a toothbrush. Buy everything as you need it.
That's it. With all the donations, maybe I can do that. But I'm
Where
off
you
to the
going?
States. I'm going to visit the in-laws, the future in-laws, I should say.
Wait.
off to-
Your fiance is an American?
You got it.
Traitor.
Wait,
Oh.
how'd you meet her?
Well, that's lore for another day. That's lore for another day. It's a great story, though. It's an incredible
You guys don't
story.
know
But
the lore? Like,
Hey,
come on, what's
wait,
wrong?
where in the States though are you going?
I don't know if I can tell you that. I'll
Yeah,
tell
like,
you.
Slim would track you down. You don't want to
Yeah,
tell
Slim
him.
will track me down.
No, I
I'm
won't.
going to pretty much the central east U.S.
Slim
we
is
can say.
He's coming to
seriously
Minnesota.
looking for flights for right now.
He's
Central
going to
East.
Minnesota.
So I'm not sure if I'll be going live for any more of these. That might be the last live stream for a little bit. But Ghost, Tarasenko, Henrique, Skinner, Sprong, JVR, Tyler Warren Fogle signs we shouldn't be there. JVR, Tyler Johnson, Roslovic, Wenberg, Sean Walker. At one point, we had said Sean Walker was getting signed. No.
I did see that, but
Yeah.
I think Friedman tweeted it out, but it wasn't. He didn't have like terms or anything. So.
Gotcha. So then
Maybe
still
it hasn't
Atkinson,
updated.
Schultz, Brody, Shattenkirk, Tatar, Hoffman, Pacioretty, Zadina. So definitely still names that are of interest. And we'll see what happens over the next days, next weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll try to have one more live stream, probably a Coyotes live stream before I head out. But over the next week, it'll keep an eye on the Discord server for the updated schedule. I have a collab coming out with Pat, Old Man Sports. We'll have a collab coming out over the next week. So content in July will be a little slower. We had 25 videos and live streams in June. The summer is always a little bit slower, but my commitment to over 150 videos over the course of the year is still going strong, and we'll get there. But once in a while, the Android's got to take a break. I know that you all understand that. I know you all respect that. I know you all appreciate it. But at the same time, it feels weird for me to not be pumping out content consistently. So I'll take a little break, recharge the batteries. It's only going to be for a little while anyway. It's only going to be for a few days. And then I'll just take a little bit.
Take a break.
Yeah, I'll take a little bit of a break, but it won't be like I'll see you in August or I'll see you in September. Like I'm hyping it up like vacation, but it's only going to be for like a little bit. Anyways, keep an eye on the Discord server for updated
data.
schedule announcements. Yes.
Yolin or whatever just signed with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yes,
Ylonen, the Canadians.
Yep.
Oh, bye-bye, Ylonen.
Why'd you
That's
not qualify him?
I don't know. He was doing okay, just never got out of a fourth line role, I guess. Ylonen, he was a shootout specialist as well.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to say that real quick.
Oh, it's okay. No, thanks for. I appreciate. I encourage you to cut me off when there's news. Yes, Ylonen. Going to where? Is it Tampa Bay?
Yeah, Tampa Bay.
Oh, Bay. Okay. Back over here. What time will the Coyotes be? It won't be today. I'm gonna take the day off after the live stream today, but I'm gonna try to get it up tomorrow, either tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. Probably tomorrow afternoon because I gotta wake up early Wednesday for the flight. So probably tomorrow afternoon if everything goes according to plan with packing and all stuff like that. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if we go live, it'll be probably tomorrow afternoon for the Coyotes. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for being here. It was a very fun, close to 3.5 hours. That was the third annual Free Agent Frenzy. I'll see you in 2025 for the fourth annual. Again, leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell for breaking news and analysis in the real world of hockey, our multiple live stream franchise mode series, our career simulations, including the Ivan Demidov Canadian simulation, which just went up yesterday. It took me the entire day to do it, so take a second to check that out if you haven't. Thanks everybody in the chat who spent so much time here as well, as we're over 3 hours and 20 minutes here, 3 1/4 hours. So much love to everybody in the chat. Thank you to my guests here, especially thank you to Hobbsy for co-hosting, but thank you to the rest of my guests for stopping by. Doggy, King Turby, and Slim. Appreciate you. And thank you, Mighty Joe, for the kind words there too. We'll be back soon enough with the next live stream. And I'm having a hard time closing it out because I'm just waiting for Hobbsy to say, "Hold on, Jeff Skinner, 8x8."
Run, Data. Run.
So I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it and press the button. I know more will happen. I know I'll say in 20 minutes, why did I end the live stream? But at some point, you just got to do it at almost 3.5 hours. So everyone, thanks again. Much love to you all. Special thank you to the guests, and we'll talk soon, everybody. Enjoy the start of the summer. Get outside. Get active. Enjoy what God's given you, and we'll talk soon. Amen. Have a great day, everybody.